Okay, so in my limited research, and by limited I mean some generic like comic book website, and I tried to check this with a letterbox list. There exists 4 Marvel theatrically released movies. They're non-MCU prior to Blade. Who wants to take the first guess?
I guess Blade.
No, before Blade.
Oh, shit.
Punisher.
Punisher.
Okay, yep. I guess Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck. DK Chris?
Captain America.
You got it.
Fuck.
You left Chris with the tricky one.
Spider-Man.
No. Oh, you know what?
Before Blade.
I fucked up when I said theatrical.
Okay.
But it's not a TV movie.
Okay.
And I'm trying to give you a hint that it may have not been released.
Oh, the Fantastic Four one. Roger Corman.
Yes. Yep. That was the one that threw me off. For some reason, I thought there were way more.
Well, there are some like TV ones. There's the
2
Daredevil.
Punishers, right?
Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, I was going to say 2 Punishers, right?
Well, the Thomas Jane is after.
Jane's after.
Oh, is Jane after?
Jane's after, yeah. Come on, Chris. God damn it.
I'm off by a year.
I can't knock him too much because I always think Blade was 99 or 2000 for some reason, but okay. That was our ease-in question.
Okay.
This is a tough question. It's off the dome. Let's start talking movies with better fucking openings than Blade, because it's a real short list, right?
Yep.
It's just like a surefire better 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's tough.
Indiana Jones. Ryan? The original Indiana Jones.
Okay, there's 2.
I don't know if this counts. I don't know why I thought of this, but American Gangster, doesn't he set a guy on fire? It's pretty fucking awesome.
Okay.
I don't know why I thought of that, but, you know.
Well, it's relevant because by this point, we've all seen Gladiator 2 3 times.
That's why I was thinking about Denzel.
Kron, what you thinking? Inglourious Bastards?
I mean, that is a good opening. You can't knock that opening.
Oh, no, not at all.
I mean, that's not really action, though. I was trying to think of something that, like, what delivers on action in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think Chris and Dan kind of nailed it right off the bat. That was a lot easier than I thought.
If we're talking action, yes, absolutely.
Raising Arizona? Yeah. What's the MCU?
The best MCU one?
No, what is it?
God damn it. Thank God we called in the Geeks. Huh? Great segue.
Best MCU opening is probably gotta be Winter Soldier.
That's a pretty good choice, actually.
Pretty great.
Yep.
All right,
or OG Iron Man. I mean,
sure.
What have I even seen?
I know for sure you've seen Iron Man 3.
You've seen Iron Man 3, and I know it.
And I know you've seen Punisher Warzone, but that's not. Well, we're gonna have that. We're gonna have that discussion later. We're gonna have that discussion later. All right, this is 5 Day Rentals, the video store podcast. What a bummer that our fucking video store blew up, though. So we're on the lam with no video store. we would at least like to feel like we're hanging out in a video store. So who better to call in than our friends from Nerds, Geeks, in the Kitchen Sink, Chris and DK. Dudes, how are you?
I'm so glad to be here, and I'm glad to have Chris with me finally.
Finally.
Yeah, it's about
Sorry,
goddamn time.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
Yes. Maybe I worked backwards from how do I get Chris on the show?
Or how do I keep Chris off the show? Is that what?
And I want to do Blade. Maybe I'll pitch this 5-star banquet idea.
So
by the way,
this was all for Chris?
By the way, my Quinn and my Krieger are here. Kron and LD, how are you?
Definitely the Quinn. Thanks, Bones.
Who's Christofferson? I want to be that guy.
Nobody's Whistler. Nobody's fucking...
I want to be Whiskers. Come on.
Nobody's that cool.
Yeah, that's crazy, Dan.
Nobody here could be Whistler.
I was going to say, I am the oldest one probably in the bunch, so...
No, Chris, no one here can be Whistler. I'm sorry.
Shut the fuck up.
I think we can all agree if one of us is getting close, it's me, Kron.
Can I be Tracy Lords?
Just because you continually tell me and Dan to walk away so you can blow your head off does not make you a Whistler.
Blow himself. He's a self-sucker, remember.
I just have to say, I think of all of us and who we relate to in the world of the Blade characters, Kron is Udo Kier, and that's all I can tell you.
Yep.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. I'll take it.
Yep. That's the one that fits like a glove.
Okay. Did anybody get some homoerotic stuff from the interaction with he and Frost in the archive?
I watched this movie 3 times before this, and I didn't pick up on it until this last watch.
Yeah.
And it's there. It's absolutely there.
I noticed it a lot less after I busted.
Well, you weren't looking for it.
Yeah, right. Well, everything sexual is gross after you bust.
You're a vampire. You can't get anything. Enjoy. What? You can't get anything. Enjoy.
What do you mean?
These vamps are anything.
These you don't have to worry about STDs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
That's an excellent point.
But yeah, Bones, it's got to be that scene when he comes to the library to yell at him.
Yeah.
And he's listening to music, and I forget what Kier says, but he has like a sassy little line, and they have a look. It's very clear to me.
Yeah. And Frost puts his thumb on his mouth, kind of the corner of his mouth, and Udo's like, "You bore me." And like, okay, so I'm guessing.
I was waiting for him to do that little shh.
Oh, I took from that scene
Coke nail kind of.
Yeah,
of course.
Nobody sits there and listens to techno. Like now.
I don't know. Some people do.
Yeah, he's trying to stay awake, dude.
Not in your headphones.
Those are pretty fucking loud, right?
It's so loud.
But again, if you could heal,
what does it matter?
Yeah, just blow your eardrums out every day.
Who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit?
You got that vault coffin bed you're going to go recharge in. Chris.
Imagine the smells. Oh, sorry.
No.
Yes.
Can we utilize your comic knowledge?
Okay.
Can you fill us a little bit about Blade and his history kind of pre this movie?
Yeah, absolutely. Blade started in the early 70s, as you know, and not in his own titles. He actually, believe it or not, wasn't in his own titles until the 90s. Tomb of Dracula
is where he started.
And then, Stories of Suspense were a couple, and ironically, he was in disco gear and nothing even close to his leather and trench coat. He had originally this teal, like, high-collared shirt with a big old belt, and, yeah.
He looked a little bit more like Luke Cage at that point. They kind of shared a look, maybe even like a color scheme.
Yeah, it was pretty close, because he had, like, the bright colored, like, orange pants and, like, a tealish green shirt that he wore.
I like his OG look.
Running through the night, that's what you want to look like, a fucking neon sign.
Wasn't he English as well? Did you start off as an English dude?
No.
He was born in England, I believe, originally.
Right. but his mother was an American, and it's actually his real father, which is kind of funny. A dude named Lucas Cross, who was a cult member that was into like all of the occult and vampires, and he kind of set up his mother being attacked by Frost.
We probably need to get to the fact that Blade wasn't really even a daywalker until the time of the movie. That's pretty important.
Until the 90s, yeah.
He was a man that was immune to a vampire bite. He could not become a vampire.
Right.
But he was not the daywalker that he becomes in the movie until about that time. And I think the daywalker edition is the final piece of the puzzle that makes Blade just the coolest.
Well, he literally kind of disappeared from like comic history for the most part, if you want to say, for the good part of a decade and a half.
There's less Blade out there than you would think, probably.
Yeah. From the late 70s to the very late 70s to like the late 80s, early 90s, there was really no Blade whatsoever.
But it's worth mentioning that he comes back for one of my favorite comic runs, and I know, Chris, you love as well.
Yes.
The Midnight Suns. They set it up. I think it's set up first in the Night Stalkers. I think that's the team.
Night Stalkers was the first one.
They become the Night Stalkers, and it's him and a couple other guys hunting creatures and demons and stuff. But then it rolls over into the Midnight Suns, which in the Marvel world is easily my favorite team. It's like Ghost Rider and Blade, obviously.
No, and two Ghost Riders.
Two Ghost Riders. Yes. You get Johnny Blaze as a human with a magical flame
shotgun.
hellfire shooting shotgun, which is very fun. And then the Rider is a different guy. And so Blaze has to deal with the fact that guy used to be living in his body, and they kind of fucking hate each other. It's great. Midnight Suns is awesome.
Yeah. Which one rides in the sidecar?
They do ride together. It's pretty good.
Okay. Is Deacon Frost Blade's Joker, for lack of a better comparison?
No, not really. I mean, it's hard to compare to, say, Joker. I would almost classify him more as like the Mandarin.
You're probably right, actually.
Tony Stark.
If anybody is this Joker, it's fucking Dracula.
Yeah.
Because they always, for so long, they didn't know what to do with Blade. So like, I don't know, make him fight Dracula. He's a fucking vampire.
Right.
So it's Blade against Dracula time after time after time. So much, like even when you finally learn the lore about his father, it's like, oh, his father was trying to bring Dracula back so he could do this other thing. There's all this Dracula shit. It's always Dracula. Even to now, even to recently, it's just like Blade and Dracula again. Let's move on, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
Due to the ditches and burn the witches. Come on.
Yes.
Hell yeah. Dan Cron, we've had Steven Dorff on the show before.
Did we?
Yeah, in your pick, dude.
Oh, he was in Old Henry.
Yeah. So
worst tear in 5DR history.
How did it feel seeing a young, sexy Steven Dorff at his peak?
Well, to start out,
peak.
I was pretty bummed out to see it was the big dwarf and not the little dwarf.
Fair enough. Fight would have been a lot funnier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they could have gone golfing at the end of it or something.
Yeah, every kick Blade had would just go right over his head.
I think he would have literally tried to ice skate uphill. You would have seen it happen.
Do you let all your buddies at the country club know why you got into golf? Do they ever ask you, Kron?
I think, well, if I have a few too many, they'll see the giant dwarf tattoo on my back.
I was going to say, if you're kneeling on your golf shoes, does somebody need to ask?
Yeah.
Is there anybody else that you see that's like, that's a dwarf guy?
I always start out the round by like, how about we do dwarf rules this time?
Chris.
Knees only.
Yes.
Chris, not to blow up your spot.
No, go for it.
What was the temperature in the air when Blade's coming out? As an older comic fan.
As an older comic fan, definitely, like I said, even for me, me old man, in the 70s, he actually was pretty well received. Because there wasn't many in the way of horror other than a lot of the, either Tales from the Crypt or classic horror. So to throw almost an anti-hero, despite everything else, didn't really matter. Black, white didn't matter, but to have somebody that was kind of an anti-hero, kind of opposition of your typical Captain America, Wolverine, that kind of thing. It actually was fairly light, but like a lot of things, it was short-lived and hadn't really caught on because he was kind of pigeonholed in just horror.
Okay.
So
when the movie was coming out, though, Chris, what was the feeling? Do you think people knew about Blade, or was this something really only for the nerds, or what?
I think it was just for the nerds when this originally came out. But then we got really kind of, in the comic world, a media blitz when it came to Blade. We got the redesigned costume. We started getting him appearing and crossing over in Punisher and Spider-Man and Midnight Suns and X-Men. And so he just kind of became a kind of a staple in the the Marvel Comics universe at that point.
Right, and Snipes, since the mid-'90s, he was trying to get Black Panther going.
Right. And that was his initial thing, and really at the time, Marvel Studios going through all their financial things, they were like, we can't afford something like that, so let's offer you this.
Yeah. All right, Kron, what's your first memory of seeing this? Please don't tell me a week ago.
No, this is one, definitely saw this in like high school, hanging out with buddies. I might have watched this with the two of you at some point, I feel like.
Probably.
But yeah, it was definitely high school, and I did not stick with Marvel stuff, but I feel like I've seen Blade here and there. You catch like half of it on TV. Blade's always one that I'm like, yeah, I'm down to watch this. Why not?
Yeah, this is a stopper. You put the remote down when this is on.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, when was this theatrically released?
It was released August 21st of 1998.
Okay. This is when I moved from Guam back to the States. So I did not get to see this in the theater. So this was a surprise when my mom brought it home from the video store on VHS. And I was so excited because I had seen and read all of the shit in Wizard leading up to it. Missing it in the theater was such a bummer. And like even my mom was kind of into it. So it was extremely shocking when I was getting to watch a superhero movie and it's immediately hard R.
Yeah, just dude getting some head in the club, you know what I'm saying?
Without question.
Yeah.
It's an R-rated movie.
Yeah.
Is this the most like R? I know that Deadpool, like all that's R, but I feel like that stuff is even pretty like winky, like tongue in cheek. It's more like humor.
Deadpool's like, hey, we can say fuck.
Yeah. I feel like this is more like, no, this is like a hard R action
Probably
movie.
the most violent, yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like even though Deadpool is tongue-in-cheek, it is extremely violent. Like, particularly like just the opening of the most recent one.
Cartoonishly violent.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
But yeah, I don't know. And hopefully that changes the game, right? Hopefully it making some money. I wonder if Ali, a part of the, the dispute currently is, no, I don't want it to be PG-13. I don't want it to fit into certain mold, but
I have heard repeatedly from Feige, and take this, whatever,
right,
that they will honor Blade and the theatrical historical nature of Blade and continue for it to be an R-rated movie.
Okay.
But they can say that all day, and maybe it will be rated R.
Right.
But I guarantee you, even if they do have a new rated R Blade, there will not be a blowjob in the first 5 minutes. There will be none of that
out.
stuff.
No.
Yeah, I know. His mom won't try to fuck him. I mean, none of that stuff is going to happen.
Right.
It's gonna be sanitized in that way. There will be no sexuality. I will be so surprised if it's sexual in any way.
I know Ernest R. Dickerson and Fincher worked on this one, like beforehand. So yeah, it was going to be an R no matter what.
I would
only.
kind of like to see what Ernest had sort of spewing, but I mean, Norrington, very limited filmography. Say what you will about League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I watched it on, when I went through my run when Connery passed, and I was like, this wasn't as bad as we all thought.
Wrong
There's some fun in
Quartermain.
here. Yeah. All right. Anything else up top before we jump into this? Like I said, we're gonna mix in some discussion in between the plot here, but try to keep it in the spirit of this movie. We're gonna fucking cook.
We're going to be here for 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Oh, we're gonna cook, baby.
I'm prepared.
All right.
No worries.
1967. The birth. We bust into this hospital. Pregnant lady getting wheeled in. Something bitter. This is Vanessa Brooks. She dies, but her baby, presumably C-sectioned, I guess, survives. We cut to now, Los Angeles. So are we saying fucking Wesley Snipes is supposed to be 30 years old in this?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
he
all
looks
in life.
incredible, but about 10 years off, right?
Yeah.
He's a vampire. We don't know how old he is.
But he ages regularly.
Does he?
They do.
Yeah.
They specifically tell you that. Yeah.
Maybe he's kind of like a Highlander. You get to a certain age and then you stop aging.
How come they never did Blade and Highlander, like Blade versus Highlander?
Imagine that crossover. Yep.
Maybe he ages slower, but it's so small of a increase. It's like 367 days in a year or something.
It's just
like
a technicality.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't even notice it at that point.
So a little bit better than like what Wolverine has.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say
Okay.
fuck the power. Give me the no aging.
Okay. We blast through Los Angeles. We've got Tracy Lords and Lem from The Shield. She's grabbing his crotch. She's got a surprise for him. I get the sense that they've just met. Right?
Seems like maybe they've been bar hopping all night
Right.
together, and now they're here.
She takes him to a meat locker. Particularly something in a bag. Quick flash. I'm just calling him Lem because I forget the actor's name. He sees it. They get led into this secret club. She's speaking Russian. Makes out with him real quick. They get inside. She just ditches his ass.
Could
Now,
we
this
get in
is not a
club?
club, Dan, that we're getting into or I want
Damn
to
it.
go to. It would be awesome.
I think we could get in.
Well, they would let you in
Yeah.
because,
You're a walking meal, dude.
yeah, they're going to eat you.
I've seen Blade.
You're a human
As soon as I'm
Capri
in,
Sun.
I'm like, nah. Like, let's do the raining blood, and I'm out. Because that's cool shit.
All right. Now, Tracy Lord, she finds this like blonde pixie looking chick. Starts dancing. Lem kind of moves up, gets pushed around. He's bumping into a bunch of people. Everybody's giving him looks. He walks by. Pretty smoking hot Steven Dorff, who gives him the side eye. He starts noticing that something's dropping, though. Holy shit.
Panties.
Beat comes in.
Wait,
Fucking
when it
what?
starts dripping, I think in his mind he's like, that looks like blood, but then he puts it in his mouth anyway.
He does 70s cop taste test it.
Right.
That's-
If there's blood on screen in a film, a character must at least touch it. Maybe they need to put it in their
Taste
mouth.
it, yeah.
I feel like if blood fell out of the ceiling, though, and there was a 2% chance that it was blood in my mind, I would not put it in my mouth.
Especially in Los Angeles in the 80s.
Yeah.
I don't know
We
if
all
this
know what
guy's
I'm talking about.
I don't know if this guy's thinking right though, right? Like,
He's thinking about something.
yeah. This chick that he thought he was gonna bone is like now dance. Like, you get excited, you think like, oh shit, potential threesome. Your
But
own
then you're
blood.
like-
Your blood's going north south, real quick.
Like, it's Tracy Lords though. She's been around.
Sausage down a hallway. Is that what you're saying?
Is she
No,
the chick
just-
in that movie
Shock 'em
we
Dead?
watched? Yeah, Shock 'em
The
Dead.
movie you picked.
Yes, she is.
Hell yeah.
Kron,
Okay.
have I told you? I can't remember. I think I was on around that time. Shock 'em Dead fucking rules.
Shock 'em Dead does fucking rule,
I
dude.
just have to say, I love that shit.
Shock 'em Dead sucks, dude.
No.
You're way off base.
All right, the
Third-
blood dance.
13 pepperonis in my ass.
We're all blown away by this, right? In
That's
1998.
standard, Dan. That's what people expect when they show up to the fucking pizza playhouse.
You know, every time I cook a pizza now, I count the fucking pepperonis, but I just don't tell you that because I don't want you to think you've won.
Bones, yes, this scene is. I mean, is this the scene everyone thinks about when they think of Blade?
You have to, right? I mean,
It's incredible. The music is the perfect choice. It is so iconic. The look of it and the way it leads perfectly into the reveal of Blade. It couldn't be cooler. And I think you're right. I don't know if there is a cooler intro to a character or like just movie, 10 minutes, first 10 minutes of a movie. I don't think it exists. I think this is it. This is as good as it gets.
yeah.
And I mean, minus the blood, is this not like the same entrance they've been using for John Wick since
Oh,
in
yeah.
the nightclub?
There's some Wick.
There's Wick all over this.
I know, right?
Well,
And The
no,
Matrix.
we should say there's
Yeah.
Blade all over Wick.
I was
Right.
going to say.
Yeah.
Well, I talked to Dan and Bones about this, but it is weird that they rain blood down, even for vampires, right?
Seems like a waste.
It is their food. Like,
It's their
You don't-
food and their water, though.
you don't go to a club and they rain gravy down on you.
No, but there's those foam cream clubs.
You don't eat the foam. That's
I was
so...
saying, because technically a lot of it is like animal blood,
How do you
so
wash?
it's not really their food,
How do you know it's animal blood?
because it's at a slaughterhouse.
Doesn't mean shit. That's
That's
the front.
if that
That's the
much
front.
blood is coming out on top of somebody, that's a hell of a lot of people that's
They probably
missing.
pay a really high cover to get in there,
Mhm.
and you
Yeah.
pay for that blood.
Didn't she? Didn't she though?
And Kron, how do you know it's gravy?
I'm saying that would be our equivalent.
I think Dan's saying, though, you got to taste test it.
Is
So
it
if-
brown or white gravy?
Brown.
Oof.
That seems more fucked up than what I was thinking about.
Yeah. I think I'd rather have
Yeah.
the animal blood.
Coming out of there looking like the greasy strangler. Shit.
All right. Lem is freaking the fuck out. He's getting kicked around, bounced around. So it's a club full of vampires, and they're fucking with him. They're tossing him. He barely gets away. He crawls as the water stops. The music dies down, and he comes up to the feet of somebody. And goddamn, the crowd just stops, and they, that's him. It's the Daywalker. I bet he pays his taxes.
Oh, fuck.
Ooh, that's a deep cut.
Ouch.
Fucking Blade. Wesley Snipes looking incredible. I'm not
The
gonna go-
dialogue there, the crowd whispers and the Jesus Christ, is that him?
Yeah.
That goes so far into making his entrance so much fucking cooler.
Right.
He's such a badass.
And it adds to this. I mean,
It's hype. It's just hype.
yeah. And he does not delay. Quick smile, and he starts. I mean, this is just incredible. DK, I sent you a little snippet of maybe my favorite sequence from this. Big takeaway here. He is killing people with an awesome shotgun with silver rounds. So these vampires are eviscerating. Say what you will about the CG. Yes, it's not great, but I think it is perfect for this time.
Oh
It-
yeah.
It makes this so much more enjoyable.
I have no complaints about the CG.
He's got
it's not perfect.
Yeah.
but it is perfect.
and most of the crowd is dispersing, but there are some bodyguards. Tracy Lords tries to get involved at one point. Our pixie chick grabs like an Uzi and tries to shoot him, but he does have a bulletproof vest. He's got silver stakes. My favorite part of the whole thing is a punch to a guy, silver stake up through the bottom into the ceiling. Camera rolls around as he dissolves, and Wesley Snipes punches into the camera, which is punching another guy. It's so kinetic. It's so Hong Kong inspired. It's great.
Did anyone else listen to the commentary?
No.
Okay.
Which was a bummer.
I don't want to be just Mr. Commentary regurgitator.
Please.
But because you brought that up, the director of photography was basically saying like Snipes didn't want the action to be like that, but the DP kind of was like, it needs to be more. I don't think he uses the word visceral, but basically the camera needs to be experiencing what the characters are experiencing, but not from their POV. So like when someone gets punched, the camera rocks. When someone falls down, the camera, poof, it mimics what's happening.
Yeah.
It's not but that's the language that the camera is using. It's not POV. It's not from the character's eyes. It is kind of accenting the action that's happening. And apparently Snipes was really interested in making this more of like a samurai movie. And so he wanted a lot more like static camera and more like kind of far away from the fights, and he didn't want a lot of close-ups and stuff, which I think is a mistake. And I guess they eventually, convinced him otherwise, because we got what we got, and it really, really works.
Yeah, I think they strike a great balance of knowing when to hold and when to move. Letting certain things inside of the frame do the chaos for you. There's a little weird kickoff with him and a martial arts guy at the end. Him and Deacon sort of swinging and slashing swords. That doesn't need to be super chaotic. But then when he's throwing the vials at the end, taking from classic Japanese, like quick cut. But the wide angle too, particularly like in the hospital sequence, that just makes that way more vibrant and creepy. All right. We see our first glance of Quinn here, Donald Logue. He shows up. Well, he's been here the whole time. He's been getting blown off to the side during the blood rave.
Yeah.
He's stoked to finally get a chance to kill this dude. Blade takes out the rest of his goons with a fucking Tim Burton style batarang.
The glaive.
Which is pretty cool. He mentions that he's tired of cutting this guy up, so this time he's going to try burning him. So after he shoots a stake into each of his shoulders and locks him up against a wall, he lights him on fire. He checks limbs and makes sure his neck's fine, and he bolts once the EMTs arrive. The fucking classic shot to the shoulder with the stake and Blade's like, yes, fist. There has to be some level of lame to make you truly cool, right? Like there's something about being comfortable with that. Like when we talk about the people that are cool, Keanu Reeves is cool. There's a level of lameness to it, right?
Yeah, he's a bass player.
Dog Star. But you get what I'm saying? Like you can't be too forceful with it. You have to have some one-liner. You have to act like he has to have something to entertain himself in that moment.
Every few lines of notes that I have for this have something along the lines of Snipes is the fucking coolest man ever to live.
Yeah, but the ice skate line is lame. But it's cool that he's saying it, right?
I think the ice skate.
He makes it cool.
He makes it.
That's
cool.
just it. He makes it cool.
I see what you're saying, Bones. It's the point makes sense. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
you
right.
have to have some of that little bit of lameness to you. You can't be like the quote unquote ultimate Chad or you're boring as fuck.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that what sort of puts us off now about like The Rock or Ryan Reynolds or Kevin Hart, it's like, well, I'm being lame to be funny, right? I'm actually super cool. I'm the coolest guy. Like, Chuck is lame. Arnold knew how to be lame.
Yeah.
You have to, there's a fine line before it's try-hard territory.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right, we cut to the hospital. Quinn's...
Is that a movie Kevin Hart was in?
What?
Try Hard? It's fine. Let's just forget it.
I think
It's every movie he's in.
is it Die Hard? Is that his
Yeah.
Pluto TV program?
Thanks for sponsoring this week, Pluto.
Hell yeah. All right. So Quinn's body was recovered. It's charred up. It's brought to the hospital. The resident doc, he gets a whiff of this. He goes down to see the hematologist on call. Turns out, his fucking ex-girlfriend, dude, they got history. She's like, what is this blood I'm looking at? He's like, this isn't a ruse. I got this corpse upstairs. Come check it out. So while they're, he's about to, go ahead.
Can you get blood out of someone that's like charred to a crisp?
Needles are real sharp, dude.
There's got to be blood in
It
there.
depends on how charred.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
doesn't-
like
Wouldn't it
Luke
evaporate at some
Skywalker's
point?
parents, no, not so much, but you know,
You mean his adopted parents?
right?
Owen and Beru Lars.
Owen and Maroon Lars,
Jesus
yes.
Christ.
Who's Luke's real dad?
And they were moisture
Exactly.
farmers. How
No
ironic.
spoilers.
The ultimate irony. I do love the shot when they open the body bag, and like Cheech and Chong, he is still smoking.
Yeah.
Bones, is there a hematologist on site at 24 hours a day at a hospital?
I mean, this is a pretty big hospital. It's a big city. I would imagine that there's probably, somebody from each department potentially
Where is it in,
available.
though?
What?
You got a blood guy. What? You got a pee guy on 24-hour call?
You have-
down at the
Call
hospital?
the shit, man.
Yeah, is there a poop doctor hanging out, Bones?
Okay. What, there aren't poop emergencies? People don't need to do drug tests?
I just feel like
For
the
poop?
blood, you can take it and she'll look at it Monday. Like she doesn't.
Kron,
need
if
to
you're
be there.
testing,
Yeah.
Kron, if you're testing for physical drugs, like powdery drugs, you don't test urine.
My guy already
You test
overdosed. You could do it on Monday.
You're saying your poop shows cocaine more than your urine does?
Yeah, cocaine's not water unless this is licensed to kill.
They got to check the gasoline. Yeah,
Yeah.
check the
Like,
gas.
If you
What
snort
kind of
heroin,
coke are
we
you
check your
doing?
poop. If you shoot heroin, we check your pee.
What if
All
we
right.
snort cocaine?
Murphy agrees with me.
What if I snort the liquid heroin?
That's your pee.
What if I put it in my butt?
Chris, are you glad that you're finally on the show?
I mean, I've been in plenty of locker rooms that the dick and shit jokes are
Okay.
commonplace for me.
Plenty of endorphin around the club.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right,
So that's all you think we are, huh? All right.
Locker room talk.
I
right.
dwarf in the locker room.
Who hasn't?
Gets you right where you want to be looking.
Leave a little door for the next guy.
Guys, Quinn ain't dead, though. Nice jump scares. He bites into this doctor. Dr. Karen, she runs out. That's the hematologist, by the way. She still gets caught. She gets bit by Quinn. He looks great in this, charred suit.
With the white eyes and his face is
Right.
like
Yeah.
blurry. It's so cool. It's a great shot.
What do you know? Blade shows up. He's back to finish him off.
I
Cuts
think
off
that's
his arm.
maybe a near dark thing. I think that maybe
Mm.
like a nod.
Could be.
The look,
Yeah.
Yeah.
charred look,
A little bit.
little Paxton.
Yeah.
So he cuts off Quinn's arm. He screams, runs off. Security guards come in. They shoot Blade. There's the great, are you out of your fucking mind?
I love that Quinn, looking the way he looks, being what he is, screams at Blade, "Get away from me, you freak!"
Yes. So, yeah, and Quinn jumps out the window, smashes into an ambulance. And I love that they take the time to, shoot inside the ambulance. We get the reaction of the old lady inside screaming.
Incredible.
He busts out the door and takes off. The logic of, okay, I'm going to see this guy later, probably. Blade can't walk away from Dr. Karen, though, dude. He gets little flashbacks to his mom. How could he remember his mom? He's a baby.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Is that a vampire power?
It's for the audience. Come on.
Yeah.
All right. He can't
I'll
leave his-
defend this movie at every turn.
Yeah. He takes her. They got to get away from these cops, though. He throws her ass out the window across the street. Matrix test style. Does the jump himself. Dr. Karen, she landed into something, but dislocates her shoulder. The way Snipes is like so martial arty about popping her arm back. Like he kind of caresses her forearm, gets a grip, and then has this very like quick snap. Like even that is cool and precise. They slip away. All right. He shows up to his base. We're going to cut around a little bit. Whistler. Cool as hell. Listening to some CCR.
Just sharpening metal.
That's 80% of his day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sharpening silver. You'd expect like a larger forge in there, right, Chris? Or why aren't they in like the T2 like stereotypical like lava factory?
Right.
At the rate
Like
they're going through silver.
The abandoned industrial factory with the giant furnace in it.
Yeah.
Like where Cobra hangs that guy on the meat hook?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Don't they say something though about having to like follow the vampires around the country?
Yeah.
So they got to like break down and reset up every 6 months.
So I guess like Whistler is like the evolution of Rubber Duck from Convoy.
Okay, that might be good headcanon.
Throws everything in a semi and
Yeah. Gets tired of the anti-union shit.
right.
I don't know. I've never seen that movie.
Yeah, we've definitely never done that movie. It's one of the sequels. They are in a back of a semi, though, right? Is it 2 or 3?
I think 2.
Where Reedus has like he's got a van as well, right? I want to love 2, but I can't. I can't.
It's been so long.
I
was
love
like, I need to
about
watch it.
half of 2.
I knew it was going to come up. I just wanted to rip the Band-Aid off.
I love Blade 2 as well.
Okay.
3 is the only one that everyone knows didn't quite work, but Blade 2 is a masterpiece in its own thing.
Bones and I went and seen Blade 3 together.
Blade 3?
I think we did. That's what Triple H, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we went.
Ryan Reynolds.
Hannibal King, is that his character's name?
That's his
Yeah.
character, yep.
God damn.
I saw Blade 2 with friends in theater, like, I want to say 6 or 7 times. Like, we loved it. I love it so much. I share the Guillermo del Toro, like, love of weird-ass creatures and a vampire that eats other vampires and his fucking face opens up. The blood at the end, I don't want to spoil it for people.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
I'm going to say
He
this.
falls in that blood, and when he fights all those guys with stun batons and it plays the Crystal Method song, you guys, it doesn't get better than that.
And then gets the little sunglass toss
He
at the
catches
end of it.
him. Oh! It's the coolest. He's literally doing wrestling moves on these guys.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. Is I think by that point I had given up. So when they started wrestling, I was like, "This kind of cool." It's the same at the end of Freddy v. Jason, right? When they start. All right, so Whistler gives him shit. Like, why'd you bring her back here? He gives her a shot of garlic juice right to the throat. Says it's going to hurt like hell. Gives her a 50-50 chance of survival.
Guys, I've been injecting garlic all week, and I can confirm it hurts real bad.
What's your shit looking like?
Thank you for everything that you do for this show, Kron.
Fucking heart locks up, dude. Shit hurts.
All right, we're going to cut over to the House of Erebus, this vampire council. The lighting in this is absolutely incredible.
Vampire board meeting. Let's go.
Right.
Hell yeah.
This is 1,000% my shit. I love this so much. Udo Kier. Have you guys seen Udo Kier play a vampire before? Anybody here? Kron, I'm hoping.
What do you play a vampire in?
He plays a version of Dracula where he is dying and he has to go find a virgin, but there are no virgins left in his home country and he must travel to find a virgin. Does that ring any bells?
El Conde.
What movie is this?
It's basically a porno.
I'm interested.
You're going. If you haven't seen this movie, you're going to love it.
Is it
It's
Calacula?
It's not Blackula.
Is this what's his name's version?
Yes,
Dracula.
Oh,
I believe it's
Andy
referred to
Warhol's?
as Andy
Warhol's,
Warhol's Dracula.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, I've never seen that one or the Flesh for Frankenstein, but
you have to watch the Dracula. It's
All right.
Udo Kier. He's much younger and he looks like a goddamn Dracula. It's like it borderline is like The Room, like Tommy Wiseau. His performance is wacky, and it's very clear that he thinks he is delivering the goods.
mhm.
He thinks that this is the shit, and it is not, and it's incredible. I highly recommend that movie.
All right.
For sure.
I'll track that down.
It's you guys. It would be great for this show. Just saying.
Are there Campbell Soups cans like in the background?
You would think so. Maybe I missed them. There is a ton of boobs.
Okay, you've piqued my interest.
Shit. I'll watch it.
I was already in it, kind of a porno.
Yeah.
Well, you never know. Some real sickos out there crying.
Plus, isn't he in Suspiria? Is that Udo?
Fuck. I hope you're asking them.
Am I thinking of the right guy?
For Anti-Suspiria podcast.
Fuck.
Suspiria's all right.
Oh, now you change your fucking mind?
Uh-oh.
I never said I don't think it's great nor terrible.
All right.
It's not great, it's terrible. Oh,
Udo
shit.
is the head of this council. They are looking at photos from the blood rave. His name is Dragon Eddie. He calls Steven Dorff in. Chris, did Dorff put that cigarette in there like when he was dropped off? Like, oh, I'm going to save this for the exact moment. Like, is this a choice made for us as the viewer to know that, oh, when he's called into the room that they're ready for him, he still decides, no, I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to light my cigarette. I'll come in when I'm ready.
I think it was. It was kind of that, you know what, I don't give a shit what you think of me or who you are. I'm going to do exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
And that was like kind of right off the beginning.
Even the waiting room that he's in, I just want to be in that room. I want my home to look like that waiting room.
Bones, also, I don't think you should just gloss over that his name is Dragon Eddie.
Wait. I think your subtitles are fucked, dude.
Okay. Dragon Eddie.
That's a good joke, dude.
Yeah.
All right. They start giving Dorff shit. They're like, look, dude, our existence, like, we have to stay kind of in the shadows. All right. We're going to get the Clintons after us if we don't fucking calm down.
Oh, shit.
Nothing?
I
I thought I'd get like
said,
a,
oh, shit.
oh, hey.
Oh, hey. We got all these
right.
vampires.
I was trying to get my
Why
saxophone
Oh,
out of its
hey.
case, but I couldn't go fast enough.
Okay. You
I was
fucking,
just thinking of a cigar.
you
so-
know Bill loves Blade, right?
He loves a Blade.
I love
not? Me and Blade, we're going downtown tonight.
Yeah. Get that pretty blue dress on.
hard to bite your lip like that when you got fangs, though.
You wouldn't believe they turned on those blood sprinklers. My God.
I did not drain that woman's neck. All right. And Frost is like, listen, dude, these people are our food. We should be ruling the humans. And then he is countered by, dude, you're not even a pureblood. Everybody on this council was born a vampire. He takes off. He's like, hey, dude, your days are numbered. You see Blade pick up some garlic essence from downtown. It's very Seagal-like. Right? My Chinese herbs down in Chinatown. It's kind of a throwaway scene, but it's important for later to establish that he's got hookups. And we need to remember this space for later.
I guess. How hard is it to obtain garlic?
It's a very
you can plant that outside.
Dude, Chinatown
Not at a train
garlic is
yard.
different,
Yeah.
dude.
Also, the fact that he does not fuck around with disguises. Not once
No.
is he out of that outfit when he's in public. He is in full blade mode 1000% of the time.
Yeah.
I love that.
I want that quilted down jacket so bad. Like when he's sitting all sad later in the movie and Karen's giving him like, you look human to me, and he's just like all sad. I'm like, you can't look that sad looking that cool in that jacket, dude.
Hell yeah.
All right, we cut back to the base. We see that we get to watch Whistler give Blade his special serum. So let's go into the lore a little bit. They're going to explain it, but Blade, being a vampire, he has chosen not to drink blood from people anymore. So they've developed a particular serum which quenches his quote-unquote thirst. But it's starting to wear off, and it's quite the procedure when he gets it. But it's great back and forth between he and Whistler, calling him old man. I think it's an excellent way of establishing their relationship. Like, genuine love for each other, but not campy in any way.
I think that really comes through in the movie, too.
Yeah.
That's got to be hard, but that really comes through.
Honestly, in all three movies.
Yeah.
Even as bad as 3 is, that kind of relationship still
There's
kind
some
of...
stuff in 3 that I like.
Yeah.
There's good stuff, but, anyway, sorry.
Oh, you're right. Whistler does mention, he's like, hey, this doctor's, she's a fucking hematologist, dude. I took a look at her notebook. She's onto some shit. She can draw like a perfect circle. Like fill it in red real well. Like maybe she's a key to all this.
It's just so very quick to figure things out.
She's got them all written down. A positive, B positive.
She knows them all, Blade.
Catching platelets at a bad time. All right. Doctor's like, all right, I think I'm okay. I'm going to head home. Blade's going to drop her off. Great little scene, though, where they are basically explaining, hey, just so you know, vampires are fucking real. Like, we've been hunting them. We've been killing them. Then some of the lore. Crosses don't do shit. But silver, garlic, that will work. As well as UV light. And he pulls out this awesome, like, tactical UV lamp. Thought you might try this out tonight. Blade takes it. A little heavy. But you're so big. fucking great. All right. He also tells the doc, hey, I recommend that you get a gun. You start getting a thirst. You start feeling like thirsty no matter how much water you drink. Take that gun, end your life. All right.
Could be rabies, right?
I was going to say, that's what that is? I thought I was just an alcoholic.
Yeah.
All right. On the subject of getting the super serum, is being able to sell that your body is being altered via a super serum, a super soldier serum, being electrocuted, being tortured, is like a key thing for an American action star to be able to like grit your teeth and shake convincingly. And would that, like, am I the only person who's had that daydream of, if I was a badass, I'd get some, see how well you can do it when nobody's watching you, you know?
Do you want me and Karan to waterboard you?
Fuck yeah, dude.
All right.
I have had to been tasered. I don't give a shit how tough you are. Unless you're hopped up on PCP, you're going down. Everything's locking up and you're going down.
Oh, dude, when I was working as a firefighter, the MPs from the base, they would come by whenever they were doing like mace training or tase training. Because
Yep.
if you carried it, you had to get it. So they would do it in our front yard. And it was hysterical every time. And
Oh,
the
yeah.
people that you would think like, oh, they're going to go right down, they could take it.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen some chicks take mace and just be like, oh, this sucks. While the 300-pound guy next to her is just like wailing.
Yeah.
All right.
It ain't fun.
Cut over to Frost. He's in this ancient vampire archive. He's fucking rocking some loud ass drum and bass. He's running some algorithm on this very high-tech computer, trying to decipher something from the ancient text. Dragon Eddie shows up.
Mm-hmm.
He says this is fucking...
First name Dragon, last name Eddie.
Oh, okay, it's not first name Eddie, and then he got the moniker Dragon.
Oh, so you see Dragon as more of like a title.
So I think Dragon
Like
he
a nickname.
earned. I think he earned Dragon.
All right. That could work too.
I also
Is he
think
like
Kron
a clan
just found.
member?
You guys start calling me Dragon.
Okay, earn it.
I'll call you Dragon Kron. You don't even have to ask. Let's go.
All right. But regardless of what
Put your head down, dude.
Eddie says to Frost,
Hey,
Frost just
Bone
blows
said
him
I
off.
earned this.
All right, let's cut over it. We see Blade dropping the doctor off at her place. A little dickish, running into the people, like, you know, almost hitting the people on the sidewalk, but he's Blade, right? He wants to park his 68 Charger off the street.
It's a city.
Okay, that car or the Phantasm car? Go.
Phantasm car.
Phantasm.
That's a hard
guess-
choice. I gotta go Blades.
I'd go Cuda.
Thank you. Only one of us was wrong.
Or you all were wrong. Either one.
Chris, Matt Reeves Batmobile or
Yes.
Blade Mobile?
Ooh. Gotta go the Matt Reeves.
Fuck yeah.
If somebody like offered me the Blade car, though, I would take it.
Yeah, that's better than what I'm
Just
currently
want to
driving.
clarify.
Yeah.
All right. While she rides the elevator up to her apartment, she notices this couple. They got a little tattoo on their back of their neck. Dude's kind of creeping around the elevator. She runs away, but she thinks she gets away.
They're just hipsters. Like, hey, you gonna come to our coffee shop?
Yep.
I like when she kind of turns around briefly and the guy goes, "How you doing?"
How you doing? And it's an incredible look from the other lady that's behind her, like the way she
Yeah.
like looks over, like she's proud of her. Like, good job, you creeped the hell out of her.
How you doing?
We're gonna be vampires soon. All right, while she's packing up, this cop comes in. He's like, door was open. Hey, there was a report that you went missing. I'm just checking up on you. But she's not feeling the vibe. What I forgot to mention is that Whistler also gave her some garlic mace. She's not convinced by this cop. Sprays him. He's like, what the fuck is this, garlic? I'm not a vampire, bitch.
Dan, did you catch that there's also colloidal silver in the mace? I know you watched that weird HBO doc.
They did say that in there.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yep.
that's the fucking blue lady.
Yeah, I kept I was hoping this guy would get up, his face would be all blue and shit.
You're right.
You got to take a shitload of it.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
I'm not
Yeah,
familiar
me too.
with what you're referencing. Sorry.
There was like this weird HBO doc about a cult, and the
Love-
lady, like, she legitimately turned blue. Like
Turned
her,
blue, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
but
It's
she
Mother
thought
God.
that. Yeah, she thought like colloidal silver could cure like anything, so she would just drink tons of it.
And alcohol. She's an alcoholic.
Yeah, she was like fucking up
Like
her whole
hardcore.
body.
Love always wins or something. That's what it's called.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Another one of those weird sex cults.
She liked to just marry. I think it's like 3 episodes, but
Yeah.
it's worth it. I think.
Wasn't there a guy that was on Oprah too that like turned blue, and it
Yeah.
was the same thing.
And he had a white beard, so he
you
looked
could
like
just-
Papa
yeah.
Smurf.
It looked insane. He literally was Papa Smurf.
Eiffel 65?
Oh, dabba dee dabba die, my friend.
It brings us back to Punisher Warzone.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
all-
That's
going
what we
back.
call a 360.
All right.
Did you notice that this cop, his name was like, it's not exactly Kruger, but it's like Kruger.
Krieger, I think.
It's Krieger.
Krieger.
Yeah.
And he says, "Don't worry about that right now because you're dead, bitch." Like he becomes Freddy Krueger for 2 seconds. It's a little Kruger thing.
But turns out Blade was using her as bait. Busts in, beats the shit out of this guy, starts trashing her apartment. I love that the actress's New York accent comes out for a second. He like throws her into a table, or him into a table, and the way she was like, "Is all that necessary?" It like slips out for a bit. All right. They take him down to his squad car, and Blade explains, "Oh, this dude works for Frost. Like, this little tattoo on his neck indicates that, like, he's basically a vampire's bitch. Nobody knows not to touch him. He does kind of his, like, daytime running. And he was actually, it seems like, doing some blood delivery. He's threatening him back and forth. The guy's, like, talking shit to him. And I think Karen slows him down for a second because Blade pulls his gun and she like tries to stop him and the cop slips away. But they hang out for the night because they know for sure, or Blade's very confident that he's got to come back to his car. Sure enough, he does. Take off, quick little chase. I do enjoy the chaotic, reminds me of Bringing Out the Dead, like the kind of druggy night driving. The cops on the radio, like, talking about, I got to get to Pearls. We show
it's
up.
Another spot where the photography of the movie and the soundtrack work really well together.
Yeah.
I like those little moments a lot. They almost feel like something that would be like MTV around the year, I don't know, 1998 or so. I don't know what you'd be watching, but there would be something, and that would be like the in-between, in between shows or whatever. It would look a lot like that and sound like that. I love that. I love that. It's really good.
I think it's a great stylistic choice to keep the movie running along. We don't need a 5-minute scene that's very slow through traffic. Like, this isn't a movie that has a car chase in it necessarily.
Right.
So it can be a little jarring, but I think it works for it. So they arrive, and he's pointing out, like, oh, see that symbol? That means that there's a safe house nearby. It starts getting late for their standards. There's a place where they can go chill. And he starts pointing out that the valet, the security guard, this hooker, these are all vampires. They grab the UV light. He grabs his sword. They walk into this place.
Sorry, Bones.
No,
I like
please.
how he's like, and you can smell him too. I think that's a great line.
Yeah, she asks, how can you tell? And he's like, the way they look, the way they move, and the way they smell.
We went over it a little quick, but there's a lot of good dialogue right around here. Like, a lot of really good dialogue, I think. Like, the world you know is the sugar-coated topping, all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the thing about got to learn to pull the trigger? There's some really good ones here. You aim for the heart or the head. Anything else, it's your ass.
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
We need to have a list of Bladeisms.
There's a bunch, and they're all good.
Yeah. I mean, are the Zombieland rules just derivative of the Bladeisms?
Maybe so.
Did anybody watch the second one?
Zombieland? No.
I did not either.
I didn't
I
think
think
that
I
was
may have saw it like in the background while I'm doing something else and just didn't change the channel. But to actually actively watch it, hell no.
While you were knitting.
knitting chainmail, dude.
I didn't say what.
Okay.
Goddamn.
All right. This bar that they go into, I don't know if it's a strip club or just a place for generic Asian businessmen to smoke and gander.
Can we get into this place?
Yeah.
Okay.
You just got to
Yeah.
pay the.
We gotta
Cover
keep Kron out of this place though, dude. He'll smoke 2 packs easy. But again,
No, every time we go to the bar with Kron, he's worried about little people drinking regular sized beers. That's what he's worried about.
It's a good point to make, dude. I looked into it, and they're not supposed to drink regular sized beers, by the way.
Yeah, it ruins the night when he goes into this.
Damn that prancing pony.
Mm-hmm.
all right. They see Krieger coming out of the back room. Blade kicks a little ass. He
I
throws
don't
him
know
into
if we ever talked about that on pod, Dan.
Yeah, we did.
Did we?
I don't know. Fuck.
I think it's a long running joke. I think you're okay.
All
there's
right.
There's 200 episodes of this shit. I don't.
Yeah, this lore makes no sense. All right. Kicks his ass into the kitchen, starts slapping him around. He wants to know where the entrance is to the safe house. He finally does give it to him. Son of a bitch. This is that archive that Frost was in earlier. Dick around a little further. We're going to cut over, though. This is chill vibe hangout up at Frost Penthouse, dude. He's starting to look over his files on his computer. It looks like the algorithm finally solved what it was trying to decode. Some hottie gets out of this coffin bed behind him, though. She's like, don't be late. You got people to entertain. Cut back over. Oh, no. At this point, Krieger arrives to warn Frost. Like, shit, I shouldn't have gone to Pearl's. I'm sorry. I fucked up. Starts warning. Quinn is alive. He's completely healed now. He's not all charred. He's got like a black sock over his arm. He's laying across two ladies. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to introduce you to Frost. Frost fucking blows him off. He's dealing with Krieger. He's pissed. He just bites into Krieger, throws him into his pool, starts making out with his pixie chick. Cut back over the archive. Blade and Karen, they discover Pearl. And is this a great practical effect or what?
Yeah, man, it's beautiful.
I would say 800-900 pounds.
And the
Which
voice.
is,
Let's call it a
Perfect.
ton.
Yeah.
Okay.
fucking nuts here.
All right. Pearl, Chris.
Pearl was so
Comic-
large.
Comic accurate?
No.
Okay.
No,
Character for the movie. I mean, she was giving off a little Pizza the Hut vibe to me. But that's
Pizza the Hut.
Yes.
She?
Well,
No, Pearl's a he.
yeah.
Okay.
But with that voice, I understand.
I was
Yeah.
going to say.
so the
Well, I
set-
mean, nowadays, I'm not assuming.
Well,
I'm not
and I like
assuming.
Pearl's.
Yeah.
I like Pearl's comedic, like lying and like, oh, it's just a closet. Don't worry about that.
What were you trying to say, Dan?
the set was built around him. He's got 700 pounds of latex skin
Jesus
that had to be
Christ.
moved by forklift to get that.
How many puppeteers did it take?
We don't talk about that.
Was it like Jim Henson doing the nipples?
He wishes.
I wish.
It's not easy being twisted, licked,
How
and
how many like
aroused.
extras went up there and were just like lick those things?
Every single fucking one.
Mhm.
Yeah, if those nipples had like a gonzo-shaped nose
Yeah.
creak to them, you know. Oh, that's a Henson, baby.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also, Bones, I've been working on like a whole Pearl spinoff, so don't worry, it'll be canon soon.
Sweet. Oh, kind of like in the vein of the Penguin.
That's right.
that's
All right.
Get
incredible.
that shower scene of Pearl, too.
You did good, kid.
All I've got so far, like, I don't necessarily have a story. It's more just a lot of drawings.
Okay, storyboards. There's storyboards, Kron.
Oh, yeah.
If you draw little arrows between the drawings,
Okay. I
Storyboards.
can add arrows. It's
Yeah.
easy.
you might got the next Fury Road.
Mm-hmm.
How much are just tit drawings though?
Let's get back to the plot.
You save time if you just draw on circular paper, Kron.
Not
No.
me, dude.
Okay.
You gotta earn.
You got to earn it.
You gotta earn it every time.
Dragon Kron earns those titty drawings. All right. So they decide they need to torture Pearl with this UV light. It's disgusting because Pearl's not giving up what this algorithm has decoded and or where Frost is. But what we saw is that Frost was actually FaceTiming with Pearl as Blade and Karen came in. And Frost basically says, hey, you're done, your history, at least have the good sense to die with some dignity. And die he does because Karen gets addicted to blasting him with this UV lamp.
It's kind of sad.
It's a little sad.
You gotta see how far you can push it for the next vampire, dude.
Yeah, but he wasn't like a vampire threat. You know what I'm saying? He's not. Is he a vampire?
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody's got to bring him.
He's a cog in
big
the
old-
machine, dude. She's bringing it down.
blood bag.
All right.
It seems like they would get rid of him quick. He's just an inconvenience.
He's like the record keeper, though. He
Yeah.
manages all that shit.
your Arkham game fans, you're going to love this little like explosive foam that Blade uses to blow the vault door open. All right, what we did hear from Pearl, though, before they died was that there's a prophecy. Whatever Frost is looking into, it's something to awaken the blood god, Lamagra. And Blade jacked the hard drive as well. So they go inside.
That's title of a Gojira song.
What, Lamagra?
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty hardcore. Is it in font that you can't read?
You mean French?
I mean,
I can't read French.
Death metal Arial or whatever the fuck it is. All right, I guess it's a 50-50 shot. It has blood or death in the title. There's too many squigglies.
I have a slight update on Pearl.
Okay.
Apparently there is a comic version, and I have not read this, but where you see Pearl's origins, and in this version, Kingpin from Daredevil becomes Pearl. So that's an interesting idea.
So we could get Vincent D'Onofrio Pearl.
Please. Yes. And call the movie Pearl, and Mia Goth fans will just have to deal with it.
And get Gus Van Sant in there to direct it.
You got a stew going.
Chris, you ever seen Salt and Sea? Val Kilmer?
Oh man, no, I haven't seen that one.
Oh, dude, throw that, pump that up on your list.
I will.
Val Kilmer, D'Onofrio plays like I think a crankhead.
Okay.
Like he loves the movie Crank.
Yeah. Particularly high voltage.
Just one scene.
He loves that horse track scene. Okay, so we're in vault, inside of the vault. See not laminated, behind glass, all these pages from the Book of Erebus, the Vampire Bible. Blade explains this is their history, everything. You start sensing something running around, though. Turns out it's a little damn kid. And as we know from Interview with a Vampire, you turn the kids too soon, they get all fucked up because they don't ever mature. I don't know what the lore is on this one, but I know this kid's got some martial arts moves because when Blade lets down his guard for a second, kid kind of gives him a run for his money.
It's like the only one.
It is kind of fun. Like it's a weird choice to have the kid do karate. It didn't really make sense, but it looks good.
Yeah. I think in the original script, though, Blade just held their head and they did the swinging arms.
Would have worked.
What do you know it? Fucking Quinn shows up. He's got a whole new set of goons. Blade takes out quite a few of them, but they eventually get the upper hand. They get him tied up, strapped up against this column.
Yeah, that's what Jake Paul did to Mike Tyson last week.
This will be like a month out.
Yeah.
From that thing.
Well, I get
people of
what I'm to understand from this, though, is that at least Dan's internet didn't buffer out.
It was spotty.
Okay. Because I thought, is that Tyson's legs that are letting me down, or is it the buffering?
Yeah.
St. Louis' own Cedric the Entertainer said multiple times that I don't like Mike's legs. I'm sure there's a cut out there, like on the internet, where he just keeps saying
it's gonna be like, multiple times.
You know what?
I don't like his legs. I don't like his legs. I don't like Mike's legs.
I loved his butt cheeks.
That's funny.
That
That was
poor
a real
guy.
star of the show. Yeah.
Poor
I did
guy.
see that.
That was the one time the feed did not buffer.
Too bad it didn't just get stuck on a loop, huh?
Yeah. Just a little circle while Mike's ass is hanging out.
That circle would have lined up perfectly. That would have been awesome.
Burns into your screen forever.
I called Vegas and see if I could bet on those butt cheeks, and they said no.
All right. Blade lost his sword. This guy named Kreese picks it up. God damn, he's so excited. Check it out. I got his big sticker. His fucking trap on the handle goes. So the doctor hinted at it earlier when she touched it when she was back at the base. But if anybody other than Blade holds onto this thing, 4 little blades pop out. Sure enough, that shit happens to Krieger. Dude's hand gets cut off. Donald Loge has a great delivery of "You're a fuck up, Crease." I got his big sticker. So Quinn starts getting cocky here. He's like, "You know what? I owe you." And he uses one of Blade's silver stakes, jabs him in the shoulder. He's like, "Actually, I think I owe you too." But Blade's just smiling. He's kind of unaffected by all this. What the fuck? I'm expecting company. We reveal he's got a little earpiece. Wall blast. So, fucking Whistler. Catch you fuckers at a bad time. Unloads. Blade and Karen, they're able to get away. Whistler follows them. They end up in the subway. Quinn and the pixie chick, they kind of take off after him. Quinn detonates a bomb, and then he kind of gets separated. Karen's worried. Blade says, "Don't worry, he'll take care of himself." They start running down next to these subway cars. They jump across the tracks. Quinn's able to jump over real quick, so it's just Quinn and Blade. Quick fight. Blade holds Quinn's head up against the subway cars. It's incredible. Does he take his other arm here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
He takes another one.
Takes the other hand. Quinn's like, "God damn it," runs off. All right, Pixie Chick, she's coming up with more goons. Karen's like, "What are you going to do?" Blade grabs a hold of her, catches the last car. Son of a bitch.
Should that have ripped his arm off?
He's a vampire, dude. He's strong as
Yeah.
hell.
Yeah, but the other guy's a vampire and he loses arms left and right.
Well,
in
it's
this
a
movie.
sharp
We're getting
blade.
cut off.
Thank you, Karan.
All right.
I believe you.
He at
I
least
believe Karan.
dislocates his shoulder, and Karen gets to return the favor.
If we just establish vampires can lose their arms at the drop of a hat, I feel like grabbing a.
Well, it's the drop of a sword, to be
Sword,
fair.
All right, okay.
I agree. This is like one of the only things I'm like,
This is why Blade doesn't work.
no, it's just, I don't know. It's just that one thing. I'm like, yeah,
If
couldn't you find a tunnel or something?
I would say if there's one thing about Blade's powers that I would say sort of veers a little and inconsistent, it is the jump out of the hospital.
Sure.
I do think that for the rest of the movie, there's not quite enough strength shown that equalizes
That
that
super
move.
jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. They're in the caboose of the train. So they're left alone because nobody rides back there. That's where you get the busiest.
It must be his anniversary.
I got it.
Mhm.
Blade needs some serum. Karen offers to help. He's like, "Get the fuck away from me." I think at this point it's probably just embarrassment, right? He goes over. He pops some serum. She's like, "What? Are you one of them?" And he's like, "No, I'm something else." Guys, let's take a pee break. A break. A break.
A prank.
Break. All right, welcome back. Before we jump back in, listener, we're recording this around Thanksgiving. You'll be hearing it right before Christmas. I want to take this opportunity to show some thanks to Chris and DK. First off, before I give you the floor to promote yourselves, I just want to say very early 5DR support from Chris and DK. Much appreciated. I think we've said this over and over. I think while our listenership is small and mighty, I think it was the friends we've made along the way that have made this thing certainly worth it. So thank you both. But please tell everybody, where can we find you every other week?
Chris, do you want to take over?
No, I'll let you go ahead.
Chris can't remember the name of the show. It's called Nerds, Geeks in the Kitchen Sink. If you want to hear Chris and I together talking about comic books, talking about any new movies, I cover a lot of horror. But yeah, if you're into the superhero stuff, we cover all the Marvel shows and we cover all the comic book stuff,
right.
Actual comic book stuff as well. I've been trying to make sure that we cover more and more actual comic book stuff. So if
Right.
you want recommendations, and I'm not just talking about the DCs and the Marvels,
No.
but I'm reading a lot of indie stuff, and I'm trying to give actually interesting new recommendations. So we'd love to have you.
And also the occasional me ranting about stupid shit that Hollywood and comics industry is doing, then you can hear those too.
Yeah. I told DK before, I think you guys strike a good balance. I think when you guys need to be brutal, you're brutal. When you need to praise, you praise. I don't think you milk the teat for what it's worth, or, ride
Not
the
on this,
waves.
anyway.
No.
Not those Jim Henson Muppet teats. And if you guys want to get in touch with either of them directly, you guys are both active in our Discord.
Yep.
Please, yeah,
You know,
anything.
so-
If you want to talk comics or anything else. I'm a big horror guy. I should also point out, I'm going to assume this is going to be used, and if not, please cut this out. But the theme at the beginning,
Yes.
I don't know if this has been even discussed with the other guys. Or anything.
We all fucking love it, and there should be a 10-minute version of it, and it should be on Spotify for everybody to just isolate and listen to, because it's incredible.
I have to shout this out because I had a lot of help. Silver Sage, electronic producer, does a lot of dance music, does a lot of collaborations. I was able to collaborate with him on this. He has some incredible, and I don't know if he would want me to describe it this way, but his music is a lot of just straight up like dance stuff. To me, it feels very like 90s throwback dance,
Okay.
like Z1077 at 3 a.m., for those local people. A lot of like trance dance, electronic stuff. He is the real deal. I mentioned this Blade thing, and he lit up like a fucking Christmas tree. He was like, I love Blade. It's part of the reason why I love electronic music, because of the fucking blood rave scene. And I mentioned, well, we want to try to convert this theme that I have already written into this other thing. And he's like, dude, I got it. Like, this is why I exist. This is it. So I just had to shout this out because he knocked it out of the park. I can't really take any credit. It's incredible. I love it. I thank you very much. Please check out Silver Sage on Spotify. If you're looking for a song to try, he has a, it's a concept record all about, it's like Edgar Allan Poe related, but it's like 90s dance. Put it on if you're having some drinks or got some people around having a party. There's a song called The Raven. And by the way, Silver Sage, there's no E. So it's SILVR, Sage.
Okay.
We'll link it in this show.
Please,
description.
yeah, I'll send you guys a link so we don't forget. But yeah, I a million thanks. I've listened to that thing that he sent. Number one, it's amazing to me because he was able to turn the theme that I wrote into this,
Yes.
into the Blade music. Like it just hypes me up every time. I love it. So thanks very much, Silver Sage. Please, I hope people check him out and support his stuff.
It's a thing where it's so good, I was going to pitch to the other two, and if you guys would allow it, that it is now the 5-star banger theme.
By all means, use it if
Okay.
they want it. I love it. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah. Fucking hell yeah. DK is also linked on every episode that drops of 5-Day Riddles. So
We appreciate what you guys have done for the show. Very much so.
We love the show. If I could just,
Love it, yep.
I've been talking for the last 5 minutes, but this is one of my only, and I'm serious, weekly listens that I have to get to. There are other shows, quote, professional shows that I can skip. I'll look and go, who's the guest? No. There's
Yeah.
none of that shit. 5-Day Rentals, whether I've seen the movie or not, often I will try to watch the movie. There are no other movies podcasts that I do that for. I generally, unless it's something very special, will not even bother to watch the movie. I'll just listen because I like the host. But this show, every week.
If I could hold your hand and give you a serum shot right now, dude, I would.
Oh, and I would love to do the the freak out acting, the terrible pain acting.
Right.
You'd kill it.
Thank you.
All right, Chris.
Yes.
Anything from the first half that we skipped over that you'd like to touch on? I know I'm trying to cruise through this plot.
No, honestly, I think we pretty much hit everything. The one thing I did want to, I think because of all the action in this movie, some of the back and forth dialogue is kind of brushed over.
Yeah.
And it's really fucking good. I mean, just little throwaway one-liners that fit perfectly. I mean, this you couldn't ask for any better delivery, or, you know, especially like some of the shots with just Christopherson and Snipes together. Just
some of the dialogue,
yeah,
it seems like it should just be on the page of a comic. Like, it's exactly what you would expect to see on the page of a comic.
And they
There's
have the
worse
same
things out
beat.
tonight than vampires. Me.
Yeah.
Holy shit. And it would just be one thing of him with his sword. I'm in front of the car. Holy shit.
Right.
Yeah, you're totally right.
All right. Dan, Kron, anything that I skipped over?
I didn't like your opinion that grabbing onto a moving train car wouldn't rip your arm off your body.
Okay. Let's try it.
All right, next buds.
Next buds. Guess we got to find an Airbnb next to a train station.
Won't be that hard.
Do we need a train? Would a semi
Kron
work?
should try it.
Now it needs to be a train.
Okay.
Come up here, there's a fucking train every 10 minutes comes through our town.
Ooh, yeah.
All right.
But semis are so much cooler, though. We're semi guys.
I could take you to the trains in my city. I hang out at the tracks almost every night, dude.
Beating up hobos.
They'll immediately recognize you.
Yeah.
There's different activities. That's what makes it so fun to come back.
Yo, Dragon Kron!
Yeah.
You got to bring your own stick
Yeah.
with a
Unless
bag
you
on the
look
end.
like an idiot.
Speaking of
That's-
stick,
That's a myth.
this stick from the Daredevil comics briefly trains Blade in the comics.
Right.
Pretty cool.
So when we were talking about, our content within the MCU, are we getting the sense that new Daredevil going to be a little harder?
They keep telling us that, and I want to believe it.
I'm getting word that it's going to be a lot harder.
Okay, because
I mean,
Fully
Is this
erect.
show or movie?
it's
Show.
it's a show,
Okay, show.
but it will be a violent R. There's a scene that was described to me that Wilson Fisk kind of makes somebody's head into putty.
Violent R is okay, but if you say Violent J, I'm out.
Well, you know.
I'm back in, dude. Totally in.
I mean, are we
Whoop,
talking
whoop.
about the beginning of Blade again?
all right, we're
Wait,
back at
what
the
do you
base.
mean what do you
Wait,
mean
that
the
was
stick-
Fago, not blood?
What do you mean the Daredevil stick trains Blade?
There's a character named
In
Stick.
Stick.
Oh, I
He
thought you
was
meant
also
like his
in that
walking
god
stick.
awful.
Scott Glenn from the challenge.
Yes.
You didn't
All
like
right,
the
dude.
challenge?
Kron hated that guy.
Listen,
Listen, challenge. He
I-
hated the character.
I understand that confusion. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Not everyone is a stupid idiot nerd like me and knows the character Stick.
You're telling me that walking stick self-animates and trains?
Very quickly, I'll just also tell you that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are a subtle knockoff, not so subtle knockoff of Daredevil.
Mhm.
So Daredevil fights a group known as the Hand. The Turtles fight the Foot.
Mhm.
Stick trains Daredevil. Splinter trains the Turtles.
Right.
Whoa.
Yeah, just blew your fucking mind.
Forgive me. You're supposed to say it like Splinter,
Splinter.
Splinter.
And Dan,
Do you like
know,
penicillin on your pizza?
Dan, you know what the Foot
Sad.
Clan's based on, dude.
What?
All
Because
those
you're wrong. You're wrong right now.
all those bad kids from Pinocchio.
The place where they go
Was it
is
Pleasure
based
Island?
off
Pleasure
Yep.
Island.
Pinocchio.
What a
Not
fucking
them.
episode of 5 Day Rentals. You guys heard of this show, 5 Day Rentals? It's really good.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. I say one thing and it builds temples. I mean, I don't know.
That's true foundational. It's not forced, right? It's organic. It's growth. It's lore.
Truly, it is, though. Make the jokes if you want, but yeah, that's the shit I
But
love.
we'll see. We don't have a video store anymore. Season 3 could be completely off the rail. Could be a soft reboot.
I started selling
don't know.
videotapes out of a trench coat. Down by the train yard.
We don't know.
I know that we're trying to stay on track, but I have to tell you guys one more thing.
What?
This Halloween, I was going to have Bones on to do this AI dungeon thing that we have done in the past.
God.
And I was trying to set this all up, and I fed all this information, a ton of information, into this fucking AI. And the reason I ended up not doing it, Bones, nothing to do with you, but the thing like started asking for money. So I said, forget this. Way too much money. But I fed it all this information, and you can build an AI world and adventure, but it starts to make decisions for itself. And this plot that I had come up with was I was going to be sort of your dungeon master, and it was going to be you finding out that the other members of 5DR had been kidnapped, and then you had to go to the big wall to fight the head guy to get them back. But it was going to turn out that there was a basically. I don't decide what happens in the story, though. The computer does. And the computer identified, like, this was, I swear to God, this was the plot, was that it was going to turn out that Kron had been renting tapes there the whole time. And was, like, basically going to Big Wall all the time. And, like, it made me laugh so hard because I was like, that's exactly what would happen.
Can I tell you that you are actually leaning into what was going to be, like, a little 3-arc run.
I don't mean to break anything. I'm sorry.
No, that we, I think, kind of toyed with.
Well, the AI did. I didn't even do this. I fed it the information, and it was like, Kron's the fucking traitor.
You know, we have talked about an old school, like 8 or 16-bit 5DR video game. You might have just set up the first act.
Yeah.
I'll send you all my fucking. I literally have character sheets for you guys. I'm not even kidding.
I was really looking forward to that, but I also understood like life got in the way because the episodes where you run Chris through it are pretty incredible.
I do love it. When
I was going to ask if that's the same program that you ran me through on that one.
Combine Chris.
Holy
Pantsless Dracula.
Pantsless Dracula.
He's still a thing.
Yep. All right.
I've derailed it enough. I'm so sorry.
Whistler is giving Karen some backstory here. He's smoking a cigarette, working on his knee brace, fucking Steve Austin style.
Hell yeah, dude.
Says that he found Blade, his 13-year-old kid. He's living off the streets, feeding off homeless people.
What?
You know, like
you
do down at the train track.
I have to say here, I was watching this. I watched this on my lunch break. One of the times I watched it with a coworker, and we were watching it. And not too long ago, he and I had watched 10 to Midnight together. And I go, I'm just thinking about that, and I go, this is when it hit me. Like, if this had been made in '88, fucking Bronson would be Whistler.
Oh fuck yeah,
yeah,
dude.
All their strengths, none of their weaknesses. You son of a bitch.
You would have had them cut.
You're so big.
You can just.
He would have had him cut 5/6 of the lines, though.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, the line would have just been bedtime.
1,000%. But just for the rest of this, just think of it as Bronson, and it just gets better and better.
All right, we get some of Whistler's backstory too. That vagabond vampire came to his house one day, killed his wife and kids, made him fucking choose fucking dart. And
like Death Wish?
Yeah. Ugh, Jesus. And Christopherson fucking crushes this scene, getting this exposition out. He also mentions, like, hey, we've been following Frost for a while. We know that something big's coming, and this fucker's behind it. Karen goes in to chat with Blade. He's sulking like you do in his kick-ass quilted bomber jacket.
Is this where he's just sitting in the corner, facing the corner?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty funny.
And she starts bringing
himself in timeout.
his guilt and shit, you know, because then she just found out, like, oh, you survived by basically killing people, and now are you trying to get some sort of redemption or whatever? And he mentions, like, I'm trying to find the guy who killed my mom, and every time I kill one of these vampires, I get closer. All right, but I'm not human.
I do appreciate that he wasn't like Brad Pitt, like, I'm just gonna do rats and pigeons and shit. Like, at least he thought of a solution.
Yeah.
Kind of went the Venom route.
Turd in the wind.
You know what? I bet they do.
Well, I'm sure Pearl did.
You think they'll do like a Dexter type thing for his backstory? Like, you know, he only drank the blood of bad people.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know, pimps and drug dealers.
Season 2 gets fucking. Wait. Oh God. Why am I blanking on his name? I shouldn't be. I'm so sorry. He's on the poster behind Kron. What's his name? Holy shit.
John Lithgow?
John Lithgow, thank you. He's in isn't it season 2 of Dexter?
Season
dad,
5.
Is it that late in? I'm
No,
so sorry.
no, maybe. Yeah, I think Chris writes. It might be 3.
I, number one, can't remember John Lithgow.
Ice Truck. Ice Truck. Dokes.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he might be 3.
I
Kron,
think
you
it's
should
3.
just watch that season of Dexter, dude.
I would
I
watch
love
just
that show.
season.
It's so
Have
fucking
you not seen
good.
it, Kron?
No, I've never seen
Lithgow kicks ass.
dude.
Yeah, he does.
it. Yeah.
I think I've only seen season 1.
They should have
Well,
ended
you
with the
you
season
literally
after
could-
it.
You can just watch that season,
Yeah.
legitimately.
All right. Quinn and the Pixie Bitch, they're arguing. Quinn's getting his like new stump getting treated by this like other chick, but this chick licks it. He freaks the fuck out. So they're playing a blame game back and forth. Quinn is begging Frost, please just let me fucking kill this guy. He does not understand why Frost wants him taken alive. We cut to Frost and his crew. They're getting ready. He's making out with this chick. She's rubbing something all over his face. This is a great sequence. Turns out they've got Dragon Eddie. They're out on this beachfront. All the vamps are covered in sunscreen. Sunrise, baby. What a great way to take out Dragon Eddie. Great use of sunscreen and motorcycle gear. Block out the sun. They pull his fangs out before he dies.
Mhm.
The ultimate shame to a vampire.
Right.
Cut to the Vampire Council. He's got these fangs, throws them on the table, says, I need 12 volunteers. What's he got cooking?
And they accept it. They're just like, all right.
He
Got
took
us.
If you take out Dragon Eddie, what are you going to do?
Like, who says he can't take you out?
Yeah. There's some great subtleness to some of the Vampire Council. There's like this like Mongolian looking guy with a great beard.
Right.
And then there's the
Great beard.
the great like 80s Wall Street looking chode that, and then towards the end there's a great like beefy looking guy with the beard.
Yeah.
I think it would have been
like a Viking almost.
yeah. So you could kind of, that's a good pool. Like, all right, maybe he's like an older Scandinavian guy or whatever, but they sort of stayed away from like a stereotypical, they're all skinny, gaunt, you know. You could have just gone through,
Interview
Gary
with the
Oldman's
vampires.
Dracula and been like, one looks like that, one looks like that, one looks like that.
It was almost kind of like they took like one from somebody that would be halfway normal looking from every continent.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of
It's like what we all dream they would do with Predator, right?
right.
Think of every great empire and just throw his ass in that.
Right.
But it kind of would have been awesome if Gary Oldman's Dracula would have just like showed up, right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Dude.
Yeah, yes. Anything.
Would have been better if Winona Ryder came running down the stairs at some point.
Yes.
Or like in the background, there was the werewolf and the redhead.
Mina.
hmm Just while everything else was going on.
In the middle of a thunderstorm.
Right.
Number one, it's romantic as hell. Okay, Chris. And number two, holy shit. Gary Oldman's a werewolf.
Blade hooks Whistler up with the hard drive that he jacked in a page from the Book of Erebus.
That Whistler can read.
Yep. I don't know. I can't make out half this shit. Something about a blood god, spirits of the 12.
He's like, it smells like a vampire.
Yeah. Vampire. Yeah. Vampire's
Boom.
ass.
Bones,
Yeah.
do you like
Feels like a vampire wiped his ass
Yeah.
with it, yeah.
do you like the motif of an old guy that's like I got one more run in me?
Me?
Like
Yeah.
a Roadhouse, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roadhouse.
Oh.
What was the roller coaster movie?
Garden State.
Shakedown.
Shakedown.
I mean, I love Sam Elliott. What
A
I
double douche.
what I love without getting into, I love a competent guy, right? I love your Jack Reachers. I love your Jack Ryan's, right?
How about Tommy Lee Jones?
I love a Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
The Fugitive, U.S. Marshals. Bring it back to Wesley
Haunted.
Snipes.
Hunted is what I was thinking of, actually.
100%. I love a old grizzled guy who is portrayed by this guy that we highlight as like, that's a man's man.
Uh-huh.
But we have to also recognize that like John Wayne was an actor, dude. Like this is a soft, like dramatic arts dude who is pretending to be hard.
He's not talking for clapping.
Yes. So it flips back around where I'm like, in a way, I'm actually fucking harder than Sam Elliott. Right? But I think the biggest thing about this, Kron, is I like old guy and competent guy, your Q and your Bond. I like that like the mentor, facilitator, your Alfred to your Batman, right? Like that's just a classic platonic male relationship that I think is necessary. Like
You just blew my mind, though. What if Batman had Q and Bond had Alfred?
well,
Just think about it.
Batman's Q is
Pretty
Lucius
fucking cool.
Fox, right?
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
And then his Alfred is probably more
Jesus.
it's like M and Moneypenny. So, but
I'm just saying, what if Michael Keaton had to get gadgets and shit from Desmond Llewellyn? It would be fun to see, right?
his hands would make Keaton Batman look even smaller.
Pay attention, Master Wayne.
I got the Money Penny question right on Jeopardy. It was Wednesday. Ron,
What was the
look
answer?
forward to that one. Money Penny.
Sorry, what was the question?
Money Penny. I was just who Bond's secretary was that helped him out or some shit.
Well, it was M's
Like,
secretary. He had a
Right.
different.
Money Penny.
That's it.
Okay.
Dan, I love reading your Jeopardy journal, by the way, where you run down.
Wait, but does anyone else's parents send photos of their TV screen and say, "Do you know the answer to this? So we're watching Jeopardy, me and your mother."
No, I get direct phone calls from my mom.
Yeah. All the time. Like every fucking week, my dad's like, "Oh, do you know this one?"
Mine
like-
can't break away from the Fox News. So.
Oh.
They're not. Are they sending it to you in the moment, though? I feel like by the time you even see it and respond, there are 3 questions.
They're pausing
Oh,
the TiVo.
He records it. He records it.
Okay.
And he watches it at his convenience.
Well, I DVR it as well, but
Yeah.
Can we go back 1 second back to the whole Alfred, Batman thing?
Of course.
Yes.
Despite having a couple of bad Batmans, do we all agree that there's never been a bad Alfred?
Ooh.
There has not. No.
You think we've had bad Batmans?
Clooney, not a huge fan of.
But he works in that. the
Val
context of
Kilmer
that
was kind of
movie.
out of place.
Okay. You're at least
Less than stellar. How
I
about
would
we
say-
say that? Less
I would
than
say
stellar
maybe.
Batman.
I would say maybe. Chris.
okay.
But we haven't at all had a bad Alfred.
The quality of Alfred has been 10 out of 10 every time.
I think Kilmer should have got 2 more Batmans.
At least
I don't
one.
disagree. I don't disagree with you.
I think I said that on Forever, our only 7-star movie that is out there.
Mhm.
You gotta utilize the math, dude.
Right.
Is there an Alfred in the new one? In The Batman?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Circus.
it's Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis, yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Because honestly, even the Pennyworth show that was all just Alfred, the dude was pretty damn good.
I'm trying to. I only did the first season of Gotham. He was okay.
I think he got better as the seasons went on because he had more involvement in Gotham.
Okay. Do you think Gunn's going to give us a true hoity-toity? He's going to slip away from the badass that we've been getting for the last little bit? You think we're going to get a classic?
I
Like
think
the animated series.
Yeah.
we're going to get
Alfred.
somebody that's like right in between Michael Caine and Andy Serkis. I think he's going to pick that sweet spot of an actor that's that kind of like right in the middle of that.
Okay,
And I think that's where the comic book Alfred kind of is, except for the last few years of, of his life.
okay. All right, turns out Karen and Whistler, they zipped over to the hospital, hijacked some blood tools.
Do they have an MRI machine in that laboratory when they come back? I feel like in the back of the room, there's a huge piece of like medical equipment. It's like, how did they get that out of there?
Well, maybe Whistler wants to start taking a look at his lungs.
Yeah, but how'd they get it?
He's so big.
You can't.
That tractor trailer he drives around in all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Roll
fell
it
off
on.
a train.
They got to get the MRI machine in the hospital. There's got to be a way to get it back out, right? Or you think it's like Pearl where they build the hospital around it?
I don't think two people can boost an MRI machine.
Well, two people, they're like 1.5 people, right? Because she's succumbing to vampire thirst and he's got a bum knee and lung
His
cancer.
knees don't work.
Maybe she's getting that strength though.
Yeah. All right. She shows off something. She's super smart, blood doctor or whatever. She comes up with a serum and he's like, what is this? Oh, she's like, no, this isn't a cure. I think you can use this to blow up some vampire heads. Don't worry. This will never come up again. She does snag some of Blade's blood for testing. While she's doing that, we see Whistler coughing. It's getting worse. Blade mentions it's cancer. Days are numbered. He says
Still
we have
smoking though. Hell yeah, dude.
a man of discipline.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have a good arrangement, he says. He makes the weapons, I use them. Doesn't look like Karen's fighting off the bug, though. Whistler catches her looking at her bite. He's like, sorry, we didn't catch it in time. You got a day, 2 at the max. Blade goes downtown. He's going for another round of serum or garlic essence. Who does he find? Fucking Frost all sunscreened up. My wife, she'd be a proponent of this. As the ginger that yells at me for not taking care of my skin. I think she likes everything about Frost.
Your wife?
Yeah, I think she's like,
Yeah.
let's kill him.
Little frostbite.
They're all cattle. Frostbit. There we go. Frost has got it's like a little girl held hostage. Got his sharp coke pinky nail. Terrifying her. And he's like, finally, we meet the infamous Blade, the Daywalker. All of our strengths, none of our weaknesses. He's offering Blade a truce. Blade's like, you think I'm fucking stupid? Kind of motions for his gun a little bit. Frost isn't playing. Blade's not playing either. He's like, fuck that. He draws on him, fires a few rounds. Frost dodges. Cool, like, pre-Matrix bullet time shot here. Frost just throws this little girl into like a food cart. She rolls into traffic.
It's really funny, and it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be, but it is, yes. Especially like the shot of her getting up and looking all dazed and her hair's all frazzled. So, but instead of going after Frost, Blade does do the right thing. He saves the girl, scares her off by saying, go home.
That bus does not even try to slow down.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Well, that's because on the corner there was a guy waiting to grab the back of it.
Mhm.
They were doing an experiments.
Yeah, trying to prove to his buddy it won't rip your arm off.
All right,
Now watch.
Karen and Whistler, they're talking fancy blood doctor stuff. She's going over a new treatment. She's got something that she thinks might work for her, but she doesn't think it's going to work for Blade. We hear Quinn's laugh. Uh-oh. Frost and crew, they're there at the base. Fucking brutal beatdown that Frost gives on Whistler, dude. Whistler's like...
Did you notice him grabbing that shotgun?
Oh, the way he like hits the light.
It's in like a fluorescent light, like a hanging light, and he just hits it and it falls right in. It's fucking awesome. That's really cool.
He's prepared. So, and while he's getting the shit kicked out of him, he's like, fucking bite me and get it over with. No, I'm not going to bite you. He leaves Quinn to do their fucking thing, and they take Karen. Blade gets back. He finds the place is just fucking trashed. Whistler's barely alive. He's underneath a sheet. This is a cool thing that Blade's not looking at him when he pulls the sheet off.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you have to be looking really kind of close to see Christopherson kind of like blink and move a little bit. And I think Snipes plays it really well. It's like he can kind of tell he's alive, but doesn't want to look at him until he kind of starts moving and breathing a little bit more.
Right.
This was one of the moments in the commentary where you really know, like, there's a bunch of times it happens, but you really get the sense that Snipes did not just want this to be an action festival. He wanted it to be, he really cared about the character and the other characters and the story, and he was collaborating and working his ass off to act the hell out of it and make sure that it was way more interesting than just, action movie, generic action vampire thing. It's really clear that he gives a shit. And it comes through in the commentary, but you can see it on the screen.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You feel it.
It's amazing. Yeah, it really is amazing.
Isn't it by like part 3 though? He doesn't give a shit at all anymore.
Pretty much, yeah.
Dude, he wouldn't open his eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had to CG his eyes.
I wonder what changed so much between
taxes.
I was going to say that's about the tax time.
I think realistically, well, I don't know. We'll leave that alone, but I don't think he believed in the team or the script.
Yeah.
Like he did for the first or second movies.
Right.
Didn't he do like fight choreography on Blade? I thought I read
someone else did the
Yeah.
choreography, but
Okay.
he does almost. They say in the commentary he does almost entirely his own stunts.
Okay.
Almost every single thing you see is him.
I thought I read a little thing that implied that he was like at least heavily involved with some of the like.
He totally was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's from what I heard and what I picked up and what I've read. Yeah, you're totally right. Like he worked hand in hand with the choreographer, but there was a choreographer that did a lot of that stuff, and
Okay.
clearly it paid off.
All right. Whistler's on his last leg. He's got enough breath in him though to tell Blade that Frost is trying to trigger a vampire apocalypse. He's trying to awaken the blood god, La Magra, and that Blade is the key. Him being the Daywalker, he's the chosen one. And he's warning Blade, you cannot go after him. You cannot take the bait to go after Karen. Okay? Get the fuck out of here. He wants Blade to finish him off. Blade refuses. He then just at least barks like, give me your fucking gun. Some not the best trigger control from Wesley Snipes when he pulls out the gun and holds it right next to Christopherson's head. It's clearly on the trigger. He gives him the gun. Whistler barks, walk the fuck away. As he does, we hear the shot.
It's good stuff.
Blade watches the tape that was left for him. Go ahead.
But he's back in 2, right?
Hell yeah.
So he doesn't. Does he
Wait,
not
what?
shoot himself in the head?
Dan, have you not seen Blade 2?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's just
All right,
been a
all right,
long
all right.
time.
Well, and wasn't there a draft of the script where he was the vampire at the end in Moscow?
That's 100%.
And that's why he says, catch you at a bad time?
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
It was going to be exactly. It's going to be a callback there.
Kron, have you seen 2?
Man, I've seen 2, but it was probably like once, and I don't know how many years are between then and now.
or what you were inhaling at the time?
Yeah, I mean, I was
Spectate.
definitely high when I watched.
I have to say
Blade
again,
2.
I fucking love Blade 2. Ron Perlman?
I don't knock anybody that does.
I'm mad, Bones.
I
that
like
you don't like it.
I like Guillermo in theory. I think he's a great person. I think he's got excellent taste, but his sensibility in his storytelling, I cannot connect to for some reason.
I love Crimson Peak. I have to say, Crimson Peak is my favorite Del Toro. Anybody else like Crimson Peak, or is it just me?
I appreciate it. I need to rewatch it.
God damn it! I feel okay. I get it. I know.
It's total gothic horror, and I think
I'm into that.
people didn't get it.
I
at the
wanted
time.
to love Hellboy. Like I think Golden
I'll
Army.
cry if you say bad things about it.
I think Golden Army might be my mom's favorite movie. It's constantly on.
Time after time, I will tell you that your mom has incredible taste.
Yes.
I've said this before, and I will keep saying it.
But I don't know
I need
what
you
it
put me in
is.
touch with her so we can talk about the new Dune show, please.
Okay, here's a bummer. She ain't too keen on the new Dunes, and
This is why I want to talk to her about it.
It's been a little testy. Okay,
I want to talk about it.
I haven't watched it yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of it.
Chris,
either.
big Hellboy fan.
Moderate Hellboy fan. Love the comic. I liked the movies, but
I would agree that none of the movies have yet nailed it for me.
yeah.
Although I do think the Del Toro movies are fun.
But I
They're
would
very
say,
fun.
honestly, I like the first Hellboy better than the second.
Can I ask you
I
guys
did
a
too.
question?
Yes.
Yes.
Is there any Hollywood comic movie that you've ever liked more than the comic? Because you're just more invested in the comic, right?
Not always. No, not really.
Yeah. Let's see. The Losers was actually a better movie than comic book.
Sure.
The
That's absolutely true.
That's the other Chris Evans superhero attempt that people
third
forget.
one.
Yeah.
third one, yeah.
well, fourth, right? If you count fucking Scott Pilgrim.
Oh,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Wanted, as bad as that was, I was never a huge fan of the comic. And that Angelina Jolie, James McAvoy movie was better than the couple of issues that I've read of Wanted.
What's that dude's name that did Wanted?
Huh?
The director?
No, the comic book guy.
It's not the guy that did Kick-Ass, is it? It's not.
Millar?
Yes.
Yeah,
Millar.
that's who I was thinking.
He also did like a bad guy. I had like
The white,
3 or 4 of those issues. Yeah.
the thing Pitt wanted to play forever,
Yeah.
like the anti-Batman guy. That's all.
Right.
What the fuck was that called? I still have him.
All right.
Down over here.
Blade watches the tape that was left for him. It's Frost. He's calling him to Edgewood Towers. Kron, you're always at Edgewood, right?
Yeah.
Your tower is Edgewood. All right. We see Blade.
It's how you unlock the next evolution, dude. You guys won't understand.
Ron, do you have a newsletter or anything? Because I would love to get in on this.
It's called a manifesto, not a newsletter.
It's more of a series of videotapes.
I'm into it.
Great scene here with, or montage rather, of Blade prepping. He makes some silver bullets. He meditates. He brews up a batch of Karen's head exploder serum. Readies his bike. And then he cuts the roots off of his plant. Now, I had to look this up because I never quite understood what this was. Are you guys familiar what this is like symbolizing? Maybe the commentary goes on a little bit more. But this plant is like a hybrid plant. It's a contradiction. It's a flower growing out of a different flower's root, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this is just like a symbolic, I am completely committed to this. I am removing myself. And I think you could take it either way. Like with the death of Whistler, like my humanity is truly gone. I am now leaning into this and I'm just going to murder absolutely everybody. Or who knows?
Yeah, I had looked that up like years ago, because it is always one of those things that sticks out. It's like the movie becomes artsy for a second.
Yeah.
And you're like, I thought this was a superhero movie, but it's like weirdly artsy. And I kind of love, actually, I love those shots. Him kind of meditating and then doing the, concentrating intently on the, the prep. But yeah, I had looked it up before and I always took it as sort of, like he's severing the ties to his former self. And now he's going to go full beast mode and really fuck shit up. And, now that Whistler's gone, he hit himself, like everything he was tied to before is just gone. Everything. So, time to move on.
Mm-hmm. All right. Karen being held by Frost. He's lighting a cigarette, talking some shit. She gives it back. She goes on about, hey, you got a scar on your face. If you were pureblood, you wouldn't have had that. So you must have lived as a human. And mentions like vampirism is nothing more than a STD. This pisses him off. There's a deleted scene that would continue after this. And I don't know if anybody watched, but they mentioned that, that the blood bag that we saw at the slaughterhouse in the beginning, that part of Frost's business and venture was like these live human blood bags, things that they kept alive. And there's a part where he takes her into like his Patrick Bateman kitchen and opens up like a walk-in and there's a bunch of bodies hanging. I'm glad that they don't have that in there, because at the end of he and Karen talking shit, somebody just busts in, somebody's here. Son of a bitch, I wonder who it could be.
They kind of reuse that in Blade 3. You see a similar thing in Blade 3.
The warehouses.
Yep.
It's also in Daybreakers, I think.
That movie's pretty cool.
It's not bad.
That's the Ethan Hawke, Willem Dafoe one.
It's a fun
that
movie.
it wasn't bad. Yeah,
It's not bad.
that might be a good 5DR movie.
And we also needed to, I think I should just get this out of the way. I mean, obviously Underworld happens a couple years later.
Right.
And there was, I don't know if this is going to come up later, Dan, I might be stealing your thunder here, but
No.
I read that there was talk of an actual Blade crossover with Underworld. And I don't think I could handle being that horny. So I'm glad it doesn't exist, because no, there's no way. I would die. I would have to go to the hospital. That's insane. I love Underworld 1. I know it's not like great, but just everything about the way it looks and oh my God, that's just my thing very much. So that would have been a fun crossover to see him fighting like the Lycans and the werewolves and the crossovers and all that. Fucking, I love it.
How does Kate Beckinsale exist? How does a woman exist that? It's
two people.
She's
love
the
each other.
uncanny valley of hotness.
And it's like putting the fangs and the weird contacts somehow improve it. Like, it's unbelievable. I will admit,
you should send.
I love
you should send Kron some of your doodles.
Mm-hmm.
You got it, buddy.
All right, we get balls to the wall. So much for that motorcycle.
No
Blade
Blade
just-
exchanged photo for photo.
Launches it through the window into the lobby. All right, he's working his way up, taking out a bunch of goons. What I do love about this is Frost sort of leading the security with like a fucking sales floor team lead, like headset.
He's gonna pitch you some fucking knives at the fair.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the fucking ShamWow guy. Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna do this in real time, cameraman. All right. Frost is bitching. He needs Blade taken alive, but Blade is just smoking fools. Great part here. He fights these two martial artists in this hallway, and we get our first use of the head explorer boom juice,
Right.
which is incredible. Kron, did this give you like Big Trouble Little China vibes?
Yes, absolutely. I was going to bring that up, but I feel like, just even having to go into the lair of vampires in it, you see like all the catacombs and, this like giant thing, this maze. I feel like that's very big trouble. And then, yeah, you get this guy's head swelling up and exploding. Like,
Yeah.
I feel embarrassed that that didn't occur to me. Because, yeah, absolutely.
Really?
It's not that great.
What? Big Trouble's not great?
Nah, not really.
He's trolling.
I hope he's trolling.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't
That's
think
really
Dane actually likes it that much.
Big Trouble's all right, dude. I'd watch Blade over Big Trouble.
They're both pretty
Well, I
amazing.
would
Right.
too, but Big Trouble's still great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not wrong. I'm not fucking wrong.
I'd
right.
flip him, but
Blade enters Frost's office while he's taking a look at Frost's computer. Fucking sweet ass coffin bed opens up, and that hottie's in there. Son of a bitch, we get a better look at this. God damn, it's Blade's mom, dude. But you died. No, I got better
and
immediately.
now I'm horny as hell
Yep.
all the time.
And I will fuck anybody.
hmm
Frost comes in, his goons got little tasers. They start shocking Blade. They catch him off guard.
I mean, if they were going to do Blade Underworld mashup, why no Blade Back to the Future? Two guys teaming up, their moms want to bang them all the time.
Blade to the future.
Mhm. It writes itself.
It does.
Doc, are you telling me that you that you made a DeLorean out of pure silver?
There's vampires everywhere, Marty. They're everywhere.
Blade's mom is making her second appearance on this show. She was in Drive from 1997.
Oh,
The
non-Gosling drive.
the non-Gosling drive.
Yeah, 1997.
The Mark. I can never pronounce
The
his
better
last
drive.
name. Mark. I want to say Dukakis, but that was a fucking politician from 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Showing your age, buddy.
I'm an old guy. Give me the gun and walk away.
Spite me already.
All right, Frost starts yelling at Blade like you spent your whole life looking for the vampire that bit your mother. Well, here we are. This motherfucker's planned this thing centuries. Who knows? Karen and Blade, they're tied up. They're being transported. Blade says that he needs some of his serum, and hell, when they get out of this, he might even consider taking Karen's miracle cure. But she warns him that it may cure him to the point where he's going to lose his powers. And he'll be back to just being a fucking lame human. And guys, this is where I ask you, would you take this exchange? Or are you staying a Daywalker?
No question. Daywalker.
I would say.
please.
Yeah, I want to keep grabbing trains, dude.
Hell yeah. I love the night, dude.
Same.
Well, Blade can go out in the day, though.
Yeah.
It's an option, sure.
Yeah, but my working
If
hours
you want
are at
McDonald's
night.
breakfast, I understand. But
Mhm.
listen,
You get
the night's
McDonald's
my
breakfast
time.
on your way home after killing vampires.
Right.
The one perk of being a daywalker.
Yeah, which is you don't want all those carbs right before you go to bed, but you just eat the egg. That's all. You're still
Sometimes it's the best thing you've ever tasted.
Mhm.
You literally, listen, I have literally eaten one in bed after a whole night of drinking.
I still think the most delicious like post night of just partying hard was me and my friend Danny Duck after this 4th of July party that was just fucking chaotic. And I think at one point we were both just standing in my kitchen in our underwear eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and I was like, we got it right.
I
This is
understand.
it.
I've been there.
This is it. All right, dudes, we're at the
Hell,
temp. Go ahead.
Dude, I've eaten alternating spoonfuls of peanut butter and jelly before.
I do it all the time. If I don't have bread and I'm craving it, I'll do like my wife's little crappy crackers too. You know, I'll make like a peanut butter and jelly cereal.
I smashed a cake onto the stove one night.
Yeah, you did. Guys, Dan had a little bit of a problem. He could,
That was fun.
yeah, he wasn't like an alcoholic, but when he did drink, you knew Dan drank. You knew something happened here.
Well, up to Mark, you know.
All right, we're so close, dudes. The Temple of the Eternal Night. Frost has given his speech. He's got the his volunteers from the Vampire Council. Pixie Chick is leading a bunch of goons. He mentions that this was built years or millennia ago, and all these fuckers just seem to have forgotten about it.
Okay, one thing.
Okay.
It's in the United States, and this was built millennia ago.
Yeah.
The
Does
vampires
anyone
are hiding
else
it.
have like you have Tonto running around building vampire,
Yeah.
mausoleums?
The weather of LA is wasted on the vampire, huh?
I mean, Seattle, obviously.
Yeah.
Isn't that where Twilight is?
Yes.
You don't need.
The glittery fucks.
I do agree with you. I'm not saying it's a plot hole, but it is a little strange.
Yeah.
Look, the vampires own the cops. They own the government. Just keep people away from there.
All right.
It's fine.
Blade and Karen, they get pulled up to them. Frost and Quinn, they're fucking with them. Frost
Just
flux.
say it's a temple. Nobody's showing up to that.
We see that Frost knows how Blade's trap works. He's just pressing his buttons. I know everything about you, dude. But he's succumbing to the thirst. Karen's not really able to rise him. They take him away. They order everybody to go to their fucking places. Oh no, actually first, Frost pulls out the boom boom juice and he thinks, oh, this is your special little serum, right? And Blade has enough wherewithal to be like, yeah, you should try some. But Frost isn't having it. He fucking chunks it. Don't worry, we'll never see that again. Because we're seasoned movie viewers. We know how this stuff works.
Right.
They take their places. Blade gets put into this kind of, Iron Maiden's not the right word. It's
Action figure packaging.
Yeah.
excellent. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And his mom's real creepy. We'll leave it at that. Now, this trap that he's put into, when it locks, it has a little blade mechanism at his wrists, starts bleeding him dry. Now, this blood goes through this other tracking mechanism where it's going to slowly pour out, and then the 12 volunteers would be at the bottom in a perfect little circle. This blood will drop onto them, and Frost at the center will activate, bring the blood god. Now, Quinn and Frost, while Blade's being locked up, they have a little surprise for her. They take her down to this dungeon, and it's kind of hard. It's very easy to miss this, but Quinn mentions yeah, when I bit him, he didn't turn. Sometimes they don't do that. Sometimes they just become like a zombie. Well, they throw her in this little cell, and it turns out her fucking ex-boy toy doctor is now a vampire zombie. She hesitates none and just beats the shit out of him with a bone.
I have to talk about this.
Okay.
That character, they're clearly dubbed at that point. And I'm trying so hard to find. I listened to the commentary. I couldn't see anything in the credits to see who provided that voice. There's no way it's that guy.
It's not.
Yeah, it's completely different. Yeah.
It's like when he's like, Karen! I love it so much. I've been saying it all week. But it reminds me of a voice, and I was just trying to place it. And I don't think this is correct, but it really reminded me of a voice from Exorcist 3. Has anyone seen Exorcist 3?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have no evidence to this at all, but it sounds like the voice in Exorcist 3. I don't know if that's true. It couldn't possibly be true, but it just sounds almost identical to that voice. So in my headcanon, that is the same voice of the creepy lady from Exorcist 3.
Is it even the same actor underneath all the makeup and shit?
I think it's the same guy. It looks like it
Okay.
anyway. But yeah, as far as the voice, it gets clearly dubbed. And so
Yeah.
Exorcist 3 wasn't long before this.
I mean, he's all vamped out now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Karen! I love it.
So she uses the sharp bone to start climbing out of the cell. So she makes her way up to Blade. Meanwhile, Frost and Quinn, they use this elevator and come back down. We get this cool exchange while Quinn's smoking a joint, talking about, we're going to be gods. I'm going to be a naughty god. And
That was ad-libbed, I heard in the...
Yeah.
in the-
okay.
If you couldn't tell.
Now, did you guys, or are you aware of the original ending?
There's a few.
Okay, the original big La Magra ending.
There was going to be like he was going to transform into this other thing.
Yeah.
But then there's also a version where he's like a tornado, like a literal tornado.
Um,
Like where he becomes a blood explosion
Right.
that turns everyone into vampires.
if you have the ability, you should watch the very rudimentary CG
Yeah.
ending. The reason I bring up that lift is that lift becomes very important to what they had originally planned. So that's their way of setting up the environment. So I want to call it out as like good use of prepping you as the viewer for the geography of this thing. But I did not want to forget that you have to look it up because it's very funny. And there is a part where it is Blood God swirling around, and then it's just Steven Dorff before they do all the CG, and he just pops out. It's incredible. All right, we're going to keep cruising here. So Frost takes his position at the center of this. Karen gets Blade out of the little trap. He's weakened. She offers herself. He takes a bite. It's very sexy. She just keeps going. Don't stop. Don't stop. While this is going on, Frost is underneath. We get this giant blood ball drops onto him. Blade's mom shows up, but Blade is I think it literally says like low growl in the subtitle. It's great. Lightning strikes. La Magra's back. The volunteer council vampires, they explode. Kron, you gotta love these skeleton bat wings
Hell yeah. Dude.
flying around,
All
going in and out of Frost.
This all looks great.
Blade's got to kill his own mom, dude. And he uses that sharp bone. She's like, you can't kill your mother. Nah, I got to release you. DK's going to be very bummed that we're skipping over the skeleton with the ET wig.
Mm-hmm.
He sent me a screenshot of this multiple times. He was getting a kick out of it. All right. We start kicking, dude. Blade's got to get to his sword. He's got to get through these goons. We're moving very fast, but I think the choreography in this is on par, if not some of it even better than the opening sequence. You are getting action in the frame. Wesley Snipes moves incredibly. I think the kung fu classic use of dirt, of guys hitting the pad and the dirt popping to
Right.
highlight the kineticism is awesome. He gets to his Blade. Fucking Frost calls him out. Hey, Blade, let's do this. Learns that, Frost is pretty capable with the sword, too. Great little back and forth. Blade notices his boom boom juice stuck up in a crack. He throws his sword. Would it be the hilt, Chris? Is that the handle?
Yeah.
Lands in the crack. Frost kind of calls him out like, nice shot.
Right.
But Blade knows what he's doing. The trap goes off. Serum's able to pop down. He catches it. Hits Frost with all of them. Saves the last one for the coolest. Tosses it up in the air. Sweet roundhouse kick right into Frost's head. I kind of blew over it, but the duel is very fast. But Blade, being the
Right.
better swordsman, does like Anakin his arm and then gets him sliced in half. But we see his Lamagra power because he immediately
Slinky guts.
And the awesome CGI, yeah.
Yeah, he just T-1000s is like back together.
I should mention in the commentary, they mentioned James Cameron movies a lot. There's several mentions of like The Abyss.
I was just going to
and
say that
Terminator
reminded
2.
me.
Yep.
That blood effect reminded me of the Abyss creature.
Yep.
But yeah, he puts all that serum into Frost and he just blows up. Fucking fleshy Michelin man. Boom.
Is that he pulls thunder from Big Trouble in Little China?
Yeah. All right. Blade and Karen, they get out. Karen says that she wants to cure Blade. And he's like, no, fuck that. I have a job to do. And this is another thing I love, Kron. I just love a guy with a mission. I love a purpose. I am envious of people who dedicate their life to any one particular thing. So, DK, when you were talking about your friend earlier, Silver Sage, like this, when you are blessed to know what you should do that makes you the happiest, I am so envious of that. And I think that's a big thing with action movies that we often forget about, like the guy on a mission, the drive. I think a lot of people don't know what they're supposed to do or what they should do. So it's kind of nice to just forget about all of that and focus on one particular thing. And in this case, it's like, well, does Blade give a fuck about Adult Swim cartoons? No. He fucking trains, he meditates, and he kills fucking vampires. And I think that's the simplicity that we need for our future generations,
Amen.
okay?
Amen.
We've peaked. We got too much stuff. Learn
It
the sword,
harkens-
grow
yeah.
a plant, and kill things.
I was going to say, it harkens back to the old Kurosawa films and the spaghetti westerns.
Yeah.
You know, your main guy is a simple man that has a plan, has a code, and
Has a
that's
sword.
it.
Yeah. I mean, when you see an old man watching a Western and you're like, wow, this is really boring. What that man is, he's getting a break from having to worry about retirement and bills and college funds. Like, he is just thinking about a guy on the range just trying to survive.
Yeah, if I'd just been wronged and had a pistol at some point in my life, things could have been so much better.
100%. All right, he says, if you want to help, make me a better serum. We fade to black. Oh, never mind. We're going to cut over to Moscow real quick. See this couple in the snow. This dude's like, in Russian, though. I'm going to say it in English, but imagine that it's in Russian. She's like, where are we going? He's like, I got a surprise for you. Wow, this mirrors the beginning of the movie. What do you fucking know? In Russian, we hear Blade say, catch you at a bad time, comrade. The end. Blade, 1998. Dan, do you have any extra research that we left out?
Released August 21st, 1998, a budget of $45 million, a box office of over $131 million. At the cinema that month, you could find Brian De Palma's Snake Eyes, Halloween
Subpar
H2O.
De Palma.
Halloween H2O, which
Oh,
my mother took me to see, and not Blade for some reason.
That's the fourth best Halloween movie.
The
what
Slums of
Halloween movie?
Beverly Hills.
H2O.
Yeah, but it's the what Halloween movie?
It would be my
Halloween.
fourth highest Halloween movie, I think.
Wow. After
I can't agree with you, but that's
And-
Let me
okay.
check my rankings here.
Let's see.
you catch The Slums of Beverly Hills and
The
Dead
original is
Man on
1,
Campus.
2 is 2,
Yep.
3 is 3.
Yes, go on.
This is where it gets dicey.
Halloween 4 is pretty good.
Oh, son of a bitch. I got it at number 3. Halloween.
You have H2O
Two.
at 3.
I
number
cannot
3.
agree with
It's
you.
too high. It's way too
No,
high.
It's too fucking high. Where do you have Resurrection?
Fuck.
Fucking 10. I don't think this list includes Ends. Oh, this doesn't have Halloween Ends. So Halloween Ends, I'd put it 3 above H2O.
The new one?
We have to talk about this another time.
Yeah,
I'm
weird.
too upset.
Podcast.
I'm doing it on purpose, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, we didn't hit deleted conversation from the film. Did say maybe you did, but Blade's sword was originally Whistler's sword because he was a vampire hunter as well.
Oh.
Jet Li was offered Deacon Frost, but opted out for Lethal Weapon 4 instead. I think that was a good choice.
I
But
like
other
Lethal
than that,
Weapon 4.
everything else was covered.
All right. Let's just jump right into this. And I think I'm going to start with the person who probably likes this the least. Kron, what do you think about Blade?
You might be surprised, Bones. I wrote down 3 things that I thought, here's what Blade does well. I feel like this is a time when Marvel movies were actually giving directors and writers free reign of their properties to do whatever they wanted with. I feel like by the time you get to now, it's literally down to like, we've already done all the special effects. Like, you get to direct 3 scenes where 2 people talk to each other, have a blast. But also, if we don't like what you do, we'll throw you off the movie anyway. So I feel like this was a time where they were just like, yeah, fuck it. Like, Sky Hunts Vampires, go write the movie and make it yourself. Number 2, this movie, I feel like the buy-in of this movie is, do you want to watch a guy wreck through vampires for 2 hours? It's like, yeah, I fucking do want to see that. That sounds awesome. I don't know at what point Marvel turned into like, do you want to learn something about the human condition? But it's like, no, it's not what I want.
Purchase.
It's not what I want from my superhero films. Having the buy-in be like, this guy's going to fuck people up. And are you in for that? It's like, absolutely. 3, we kind of touched on it. This is truly like a ballsy hard R. I feel like they probably will never go this far again. And it might have just been that it was so early. You know, this, like we said, this was pre-MCU where there was a bit more like hands-off approach to things. But yeah, I mean, I feel like you get this movie. Let's see, when was Raimi's Spider-Man 1?
Not too far after this.
Like 2
2001?
years out?
Is it true that they were supposed to connect? I believe they were actually supposed to connect.
Oh,
In
I
some
don't
way.
know.
Same producers. It's Avi Arad and Stan Lee, and I'm pretty sure you can look this up that they were originally supposed to connect. Like, there was going to be some character that crosses
Well,
over.
same
and
way with
eventually
Punisher,
they might
because
team up.
there's a quick second that Thomas Jane is in Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think there was originally some plan to do like a cinematic connection, but
Right.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like you get Blade. I feel like that Raimi Spider-Man, that still feels like we've got a creative guy directing how this film's going to look and feel. And then by the time you get to Iron Man is 2008, so just 10 years after this, I feel like that's when they fully lock into the template of like, this is what Marvel is going forward.
I think really, if you look back at it, when they yank Ant-Man away from Edgar Wright,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
that's a fucking red flag.
Yeah.
Edgar Wright making Ant-Man? Holy shit. That should be 10 out of 10. But no, they yanked that away from him because it doesn't fit into their vision. And it's a real sadness.
So Bones, those are the 3 things that I think this movie does very well. I think those 3 things to me make this the best Marvel film of all time. I'm going to be a 4.0 on Blade.
All right.
I mean, you could kind of ding it for the CGI now, but honestly, when I rewatched it for this, it's like you're having too much fun watching the movie to really give a shit that there's aged CGI. And I guess that's the greatest testament to the film is like the stuff when you look back on it that should kind of bump you off the movie and it doesn't. Like, what more do you need as an argument for like, yeah, this thing truly holds up? Good time, 4.0.
Thanks, Kron. Chris, I'm going to give you some time, buddy.
Sure. I a lot of Kron's points I concur. You know, I would probably out of 5, I would probably even do a 4.5, just because you know the CGI is a little dated. But in all honesty, this movie set the table and the bar for any Marvel movie that came after it. Because it did it so well and was so... It didn't have to be, per se, like page for page comic book adaptation. But it had all the nuance, the feel, the heart of what the character had become at that time. And ran with it in a great way. But on the other side, this movie also pisses me off because of how the fuck can we not write a vampire movie now of someone killing a bunch of fucking vampires and doing it right? How hard is that? It really should not be that fucking hard. We don't have to have a million backstories, some conceptual, you know, dissertation on modern society of some facsimile of Blade, Wesley Snipes, whoever, just beat the shit out of creatures of the night. And that's what pisses me off about it. Because it's such really a simple story in a complex setting that it shouldn't be this hard to get another good movie. But yeah, 4.5 out of 5 for me.
All right. Dan.
Hey, Blade, my pops brought this home on VHS, and I was like, what is this? And he was like, it's the guy that kills vampires. And we watched it, and I was like, this is the greatest movie I've ever seen in my life. It was 1998. I was young. This shit still rules, man. A little long. Karen's character... She's super smart and she gets things done really fast. You could poke some holes in it if you really want to. But at the end of the day, man, echoing Chris, yeah, this is a dude that goes out and fucks up fucking vampires. Like, what more? You open up with a dude getting head in a fucking meat locker fucking rave. Like, hell yeah. We need that, Marvel. We need that, Disney. Head sells, okay? Get Al Snow in there. Let him run this place. But I think it's good, man. I think Wesley Snipes is really good. I think he's perfect for the role. I think if you offered it to him now, he'd probably still fucking do it.
Oh, he did. Interesting.
Who wants an old man Blade?
Me.
Yes, please.
Everyone.
Yeah. It's not hard. It really is not that hard.
When they stopped production on the new one, I was kind of like, good. Like, good. I don't trust you. But yeah, man, this shit rules. I love it. It's a 4.5 for me. Could jump to a 5 at any day of the week that I watch it. I'm not gonna not watch it. I've always loved this from when I seen it as a young man in 1998. So on a VHS tape, that's a tape that actually plays through a VCR. You young or newer millennials up there, I don't know. Or millennials are.
It was like your phone,
Yeah.
but back
You know.
then.
Yeah, man. 4.5 for me.
DK.
It's great.
Blade. There's not a whole lot more for me to say. You guys have been nailing it. It's too fucking cool. Way too much. It's the whole thing rules all the way through. Snipes cares so much about this character and getting it right. He puts so much into the emotional core of this character, into the physicality of this character. He puts so much into the story, every aspect of this, the stunts, so many elements of this, so much care. And it's a movie about a guy who kills vampires. Holy shit. It shouldn't be as good as it is, but it is. It absolutely kicks ass. It's so iconic. The blood rave, the fucking music, Whistler kicks ass. Blade with the shotgun kicks ass. There's just every scene I'm going, holy shit, that's cool. Like everything. And yeah, it's really frustrating that we can't have more things that are this fucking cool. I couldn't give it any less than a 5-star for me personally. I get putting it at a 4. That might be a more realistic number, but my heart swells when I think of Blade and when I see Wesley Snipes on the screen. It is part of my DNA. I just love it so much. I'm into the vampire thing. I'm into the goth thing. Always have been, in no small part due to how fucking awesome Blade is. So I owe Blade very much, and I couldn't give it any less than 5 stars. Blade fucking rules.
Guys, I do think that this movie, as simple as it is, and a very astute, wise thing Chris said, if you have a complex setting, give us a simple story. If you have a simple setting, give us a complex story, right? And that what 12 Angry Men is. 12 guys locked in a room, complicated about human condition.
Right.
Every great war movie, it's not about like the totality in the field of battle. It's like the individual minute stories within that. And we're getting away from that. But I do believe that this movie does have a message. Multiple times in this movie, Frost refers to humans as cattle. Blade uses a synthetic blood-like serum to satiate a craving that he has. This movie is about going plant-based and no longer eating meat. Blade is the ultimate omnivore who respects the fact that, yes, our ancestors probably did develop the brain through the use of cooking meat and getting protein and certain enzymes because they didn't have the full astute amino acids available in plant-based and non-meat settings. But we are in a situation now where we as humans, we can decide that domesticating animals and slaughtering them needlessly for food when we can't get our protein sources from other places, maybe that's a way forward. Blade is the ultimate PETA movie. 5 stars. Guys, thank you so much. We have been going so long on these last few episodes, but we wanted to open this up, hang out with our buddies, our fellow Potters. Thank you so much. One last time, tell everybody where they can find you, and then we'll get the fuck out of here.
All right. Well, yeah, I'll do it this time. I'll do the accent. Look for us on anywhere you find podcasts and on YouTube. Nerds, Geeks, in the Kitchen Sink. We're on all the social media. We post fairly regularly, but we have a Discord. You guys join the Discord. We go sometimes at each other in the Discord.
Sure. Absolutely.
There's been several.
It's usually DK posting something like, "This is cool," and then you see Chris typing, and it says, and it's no offense, but this sucks dick and you're stupid. And DK's like, well, I like it.
Yeah.
And then a long list of Chris of why DK is wrong, and everybody else enjoys it.
Yeah. And,
That's not wrong. That's not wrong.
And yeah.
yeah, like Chris said, get in the Discord. We have a lot of fun. But yeah, we're bi-weekly. It's also on YouTube if you want to watch it. I don't know why you would, but it's there.
You guys are good looking dudes.
Oh. Face for radio
50%.
and a voice for silent film. You know.
And I'll just shout out again, Silver Sage. Thank you so
Yes.
much for the help with this theme. You crushed it, my dude. And I hope people check out your music. Put it on your playlist. Go on to Spotify. Give Silver Sage some love, some listens. Buy some of his stuff on Bandcamp. Whatever you can do. Major shout outs and love to Silver Sage. I will just because Silver Sage, I do have a music project called Home is Midnight. We have a record coming out soon. The date has kind of flip-flopped. It's in flux right now. There's some production issues, but we're getting there. And I will tell you that Silver Sage has done a collaboration with us for one track. And it might be the best track on the fucking record. It's incredible. So thank you once again, Silver Sage.
Guys, thanks again. Much appreciated. You made the year. We capped it off. This little in between. But now I kick it over to Dan. Get us the fuck out of here, dude.
Hey, 5-star Banquet, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Blowout, Blade. Thank you to all our guests and friends that joined us along the way. Chris, welcome to the 5D Army. Come back whenever you want.
Have me anytime.
Highlander 2 might be coming season 3. You never know. Anyway, if you're on the socials, please follow us at Threads, Letterboxd, Instagram. We're there. There is a link to our Discord on every episode that drops every Wednesday at the 5-Day Rentals Podcast. Join that. Kron's on there. DK, Chris is on there. Bones. Me as well. Join in. Tell us we're great. Tell us to fuck you. That seemed to be the theme this week. If you got any questions, concerns, comments, please email us at 5dayrentalespodcast@gmail.com. If you're on Spotify or Apple, please rate, review, and subscribe to the show. Helps us bring the show to more people. But other than that,
I'm stopping you right there, Dan. Some people are going to go, oh, Bones left out the most important line of the whole fucking movie. No. We end on a game. In the spirit of some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill. We're gonna play the Mad Libs version of that. And my pitch is some motherfuckers always trying to towel off in a rainstorm. Anybody got one?
fuck.
Man.
Some motherfuckers always trying to get head in a club.
Head in a lesbian club.
You're right.
This was a tough one, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll trim all this so it seems like everybody came up with them much faster.
God damn, no.
Yeah.
I keep thinking of dumb shit.
I want it to be dumb.
Yeah.
We'll just end on Bones's.
Yeah.
All right, crash and burn.
Crash and burn.
Crash and burn.
Should we do one? Oh shit.
Crash and burn.
Whistler. This really fucked me up, Bones. Crash and burn.